money you've saved. When Brian and his team put all of that together, they can help you plan for a happy and prosperous retirement. Now is the time to get started planning for happiness. The sooner you begin, the sooner you can relax, knowing you finally have a retirement plan. Give Brian and his team a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE to schedule a meeting, or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. Call WIN Retire, that's 833-946-7384. Or visit AKERSfinancialgroup.com to schedule your free meeting. That's acresfinancialgroup.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
The preceding was a paid program, and the views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of WJZ-FM, Odyssey, its sponsors, or affiliates.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Bruce Cunningham Show. Happy to be here. We'll be visiting with you till 3 o'clock, and we got an awful lot to talk about. And we got a pretty good show set up here for you. First of all, let me tell you the guests. This hour, as we always do, we have Rich Dubroff, BaltimoreBaseball.com, and I'm going to get into the Orioles here in just a few seconds. And we got a lot to talk about there. And then in the 2 o'clock hour, Cordell Woodland is out at training camp today, and we will get his reaction to what went on today. Also, there's some post-practice press conferences. He's going to tell us all about that, too. So that's coming up at 2:30. But now, back to the Orioles. Shane Baz. He admits to being frustrated, and he should. He might be one of the best pitchers in the American League, but his record is terrible. I've got he pitched 8 innings last night, struck out 9, first complete game of his career. He's allowed 3 runs or fewer in 14 of his last 15 starts. His ERA is down to 3.76. Yet his record 4-11, and the reason why is whenever he pitches, the offense takes the night off. Over the team's first 5 games this month, this is from the Sun, the Oriole offense averaged just 1.8 runs while going 2 for 17 with runners in scoring position. Everybody knows what's wrong. Everybody knows the offense just doesn't show up. But when you get a performance like you've been getting from Shane Baz, and you just waste them all, that's pitiful. There's really no excuse for that. And I'm just, forget the playoffs. I'm just ready for this crap to be over. And I bet I speak for a lot of you. This is just too depressing night after night. You sometimes wonder. I'm not going to say that. This is a major league team for sure. I was going to say you sometimes wonder if it's really a major league team, but oh yes, it's a major league team. But when the complete lack of support for a pretty good starting pitching rotation is ridiculous. Now, let's get to the controversy from last night. There was a very crucial call, probably decided the game. Play at the plate, 9th inning. Leody Taveras trying to score from first. Okay? The play at the plate was close, but replays indicated that he was probably safe. So what happened was the replay review showed that the tag missed his chest, okay? But they said there's not enough evidence to overturn or confirm the call. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, it was obvious. Ronnie Millsap could have seen how safe he was on that play. Alvarez, after the game, was upset. I tell you what, that was a real good opportunity for him to run out there and get thrown out, which I really think would rejuvenate this team. or at least get this team off its collective butt. You know, this is hard to watch. Now, I wasn't here, the trade deadline. Everybody knows what happened. And there was shock in the beginning with Adley Rutschman. But then when you started to break down what the Orioles got in return, well, maybe. The problem with trading veterans for prospects is that the veteran's already up. The veteran, he's going to be playing and you know what he can do. With prospects, you're just trading for, boy, I hope. Now, they got what was the second, third, and fifth prospect, top prospect from the Red Sox farm system. And as Steve Molesky pointed out earlier this week, which was fascinating, is that now the Orioles are considered to have the second best farm system in all of baseball because of those additions on the trade deadline. I'm not real sure anybody saw this with Adley, but it should have been more apparent. With Basayo signing a long-term deal, with Adley coming to the end of his deal, what it did, it broke up that original core that also include, who it includes, the original core of young players that basically all came up together. That's the first breakup of that core. Then later this week, Buster Olney, who writes for the New York Times, used to be the beat writer for the Baltimore Sun for the Orioles. That's how I know Buster Olney, from when he was beat writer here. Well, he says that it looks like Gunnar Henderson ain't going to want to stay. That shouldn't surprise you either. Gunnar, you could get a high return for Gunnar Henderson. I'm not saying do it now. You can't. Trade deadlines pass. Players got to pass through waivers in order to be traded, and ain't no way Gunnar Henderson's passing through waivers. I promise you that. But next year, if this team continues to struggle, I could see it now. I could. And for the same reason that we could have seen Adley. They signed Basayo long-term, right? Well, here's why Gunnar might be movable. What's Jackson Holliday's natural position? He's a shortstop. I'm just saying, don't be surprised by any of these personnel moves. This stuff is crazy. We can keep watching the standings. I got them up right here because I'm, kind of addicted to it. Right now, Orioles are 2 games out in the wild card race, but they're 4 games under 500, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams ahead of them in the wild card standings. So we can hope and think, but even if this team does get to the playoffs, what do you think they're going to do? Answer, not much. Why? Because they can't score runs. You could lean back on the old pitching and defense thing, but they don't have much defense either. This is a disaster. Look, I tip my cap to Mike Elias coming in here and remaking the organization and drafting well and stocking that farm system and doing all the things he promised to do. I have no issue with him in that regard. What we haven't seen, though, is a team with all these pieces be able to win consistently. And it's very confusing. I got friends all over the country, and we'll talk, and they'll say, well, what's wrong with the Orioles? And I say, oh, man. What isn't wrong with the Orioles? Well, actually, one thing that isn't wrong with the Orioles right now is their starting rotation's very good. Other than that, I don't know. The bullpen's better than average. Starting rotation, very good. I can't give anything else on that roster a passing grade right now. It's just crazy. In the Shane Boss thing, what's the old joke? He ought to sue his team for non-support. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. Oh, college football fans, it's coming up in a couple of weeks. I wanted to make sure I mentioned this. It now looks as if the Protect College Sports Act, which is in the Senate, they're going to vote on it next month. And it looks like it's got bipartisan support. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but it's going to change what things, how the players are paid, and the structure for it, because things have gotten completely out of control. And they're going to vote on it next month. It's being supported by both parties. So, that should tell you something. Maybe it's an idea whose time has come. Ravens out on, on practice field again. I hope you got to watch that Hall of Fame game Thursday night. I watched it because, like most of you, I was just jonesing for some football. But what a game. The first preseason game, especially if it's the Hall of Fame game, you're not going to see much. They're not going to show you much. Well, those two teams showed a lot. And those two quarterbacks played lights out. And that was an entertaining night of football. I couldn't believe that I'm sitting here in August, this early in August, seeing a game that good. Now, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony is today. It's an outstanding class. It's one of the better ones I can remember, And I brought up Adam Vinatieri last week. I was really happy to see that. There's only two kickers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Jan Stenerud, the former Kansas City Chiefs great, and then Morton Anderson, who kicked for several teams for a long time. But those are the only two kickers. And Vinatieri joining them is it's long overdue. Who made more money kicks than Adam Vinatieri? He helped two different teams to Super Bowls. And even though we don't like the Patriots very much around here, I always liked him because when the money was on the table, okay, when the chips were absolutely down, you could count on him to win a ball game for you. He won a bunch of games for the Patriots, and then he won a bunch of games for the Colts. And you talk about a deserving Hall of Famer. My goodness. I can't think of one who deserves it more than Adam Vinatieri. Way to go. And I'm not that big a kicker guy. You're not going to hear me advocate for kickers a lot, but that one deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. That's for sure. Ravens signed a player, linebacker Jamon Johnson. He played at St. Francis. He had been with the Packers, hadn't played a great deal. They're bringing him on, I think, for a depth piece or maybe special teams or something like that. But you will see a new name on the roster when things pick back up. As far as the rest of the preseason, they let the Hall of Fame game stand alone there on that Thursday. Everybody else starts playing this Thursday. And the Ravens preseason opener is Saturday night. I believe it's with the Eagles. I think it is, yeah. So the games, we're in game week right now. And Hard Knocks is on. Football's back, baby. My juices are flowing. How about you? Phones are wide open, 410-583-1057. We're going to start answering a few of them next. Stick around.
If you're thinking about it,
every day,
we're talking about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
105.7 The Fan.
Support, assist, care. Own your next move by training at Lincoln Tech's Columbia campus. Gain hands-on skills using industry-standard equipment and prepare for a career as a medical assistant. Benefit from Lincoln's employer connections that can help open doors to new opportunities. Don't just imagine a better future, start building it. Enroll now for fall classes. Visit lincolntech.edu today to schedule a campus tour. That's lincolntech.edu. lincolntech.edu. Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks, like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 410-921-0667 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. Call 410-921-0667 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 410-921-0667 for fast, easy, and affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 410-921-0667.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, a dead car battery, bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage, roadside assistance for breakdowns, bill negotiation to help lower your bills, identity theft aid for peace of mind, and you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You can do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal, too. Right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid...
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Tucson Plug-in Hybrid, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offers end September 8th. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
I could listen to it all day. St. Paul and the Broken Bones, Fall Moon. Don't even ask. Just go to YouTube right now and listen to it. It'll add to your day. That I can promise you. 410-583-1057. A lot of folks responded just now. Let's go first to Tony in Rosedale. Tony, what's up?
Hey, Bruce. How's it going?
All right, man.
Okay, I want to talk about the Orioles, but since you brought it out, the Hall of Fame, you talked about Vinatieri getting in.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, especially with baseball, I think it's a popularity contest or whatever, the way they put some of these people in. Mm-hmm. I mean, Vinatieri deserves to go in, but it's mind-boggling to me why Mark Mosley is not in that Hall of Fame. He won an MVP as a kicker.
Yeah, Mark Mosley. Wasn't he the last straight-on kicker, too, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He wasn't soccer style. I think he was the very last, but you're right. He deserves to be in there. A lot of kickers. Kickers just don't get respect in football.
Right, but Mosley was spot on when I was a kid, and he won an MVP. I can't understand why he's not in there.
Yeah,
let me get on to the Orioles. Bruce, it needs to be some sort of change of philosophy, I think, and it needs to start at the minor league level when it comes to the approach that these hitters are taking. I mean, it looks like they're all swinging for the fences. They're trying to pull fastballs on the outside part of the plate instead of going with the pitch. Last night, we started 6 guys hitting under 240. Now, me and you watched a lot of baseball. When I was growing up, most of the baseball teams that I saw, the 8 and 9 hitters were the only hitters like under 240 or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it seems like a lot of teams like have half their lineups hitting under 230 and 220 or whatever. What do you think it is with the hitting, these days, especially with the Orioles?
I have no idea. I'll tell you one thing that doesn't help at all, though. They've had 4 hitting instructors in the last 4 years. There's no continuity whatsoever. They some nights you can tell they come out aggressive. Other nights they come out a little bit passive. I just think the whole thing needs to be overhauled. You want my opinion? There's no excuse for wasting that many prime stars by your starters. There's no excuse for that at all. And Tony, I'll go a step further. When the story of the 2026 season is written, that's going to be the major thing about how they could not score runs for a pretty good starting rotation. And
Pete Alonso came here with, in his head, this is a good young team. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Primarily with Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson. He looked at it and said, I could really do something. I'm not blaming Pete Alonso for none of this.
No.
He's put up the numbers that we expect out of him.
They got their money's worth out of this deal so far. They really have.
Right. And like I said, Gunnar and Adley, the last 3 years, and I brought it up to you, a couple of months ago. I told you they were directly responsible for Brandon Hyde getting fired.
Okay.
If we would have been getting 80% of, what they did a couple years, we would not be in this situation. We haven't gotten 40 or 50% of what Adley and Gunner did, 2
Totally
years
agree.
ago.
Totally agree. Anybody that says they're anything other than either mediocre or a disappointment has not been watching the games,
Right. And all these other guys, I just think they need to get to them in the minor leagues before they get up here in the way they hit and approach it.
Yeah,
all I'm looking like Rob Deere. You remember Rob Deere?
Rob Deere.
Swing as hard as you can.
You might hit it.
You can hit it and hope it goes far.
All right, Tony, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. 410-583-1057. Rob Deere. Oh, my gosh, I'd forgotten him. Let's go to William in Northeast Baltimore. William, what's up?
Good morning, Bruce. My nephew Antonio Rosedale sort of stole some of my thunder. I'm calling you this morning. The other day I was listening to the radio, and I heard Aretha Franklin song, the old Aretha Franklin song,
Oh, yeah.
Freeway. And I said, I got to call Bruce because my man, Clarence Clemens, on that saxophone just blows your mind.
I know
And
the song.
love it.
I know this Freeway of Love.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. So what I want to talk about, this pitching staff of the Orioles, Young, Bradish, Rogers, and Baez. All of August, Bruce, these guys did the job that nobody else in baseball could do. 4 guys constantly pitching good games.
Mm-hmm.
But the batting order, just like you said, let them down. If you look at this line, yes.
There's no other way to put it.
Yes, if you look at this lineup, Gunner, 217.
Oh, yeah.
Mayo, 205. O'Neill, 217. Cowser, 205. Jackson Holiday, number 1 pick, 234. It's impossible to go anywhere with these guys hitting like that. And before I hang up, Bruce, I want to talk about Gunner.
All right.
I looked at the lineup last. What is Gunner doing hitting leadoff? And all season long, he's been slumping.
Yeah.
He should be batting 5th or 6th. When you
know what? You're being too nice. He should be in that 7 hole. I mean,
I'm a little too nice. But what's happening, Bruce, is you telling everybody that this guy's got preferential treatment, and no matter what he do, he's going to be at the top of the lineup. I can remember when Jeremiah Jackson was hitting 280.
Yeah.
They never moved him up at the top of the lineup. Blaze Alexander, 300, Bruce.
Yeah.
And they never put him at the top of the lineup.
I
And
know.
I'm going to hang up and listen to your
All right.
response.
Thank you, William. I appreciate the call. I don't have a response for you. Everything you said is absolutely right. We're all watching the same games. We're all seeing the same thing. I'm going to repeat what I said earlier, though. I'll just be glad when this is over. I'll still be watching every night, but my gosh. Tom in Rising Sun, what's going on?
Hey, buddy. How you been?
I'm all right.
Well, I think the GM needs to go, definitely. Michael Elias needs to go. And definitely, I'm not too crazy about the manager either. I mean, if it wasn't for him holding up that dugout wall, I think that dugout would collapse. and I'm just sorry. He doesn't argue with the umpires, never, ever.
I tell you what, I said this at the top. I would have loved to seen him on that call at the plate last night, just run out there and get his butt thrown out, just on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. He does nothing. I mean, your players want to see if you're backing them up.
Yeah.
Your players want to know if you're going to fight for them.
Sure.
When you don't even voice an opinion on what the umpires are doing or anything, the players are going to feel like, if he doesn't care, why should we care?
Let me tell you, Tom, you're old enough to answer this question. How do you think Earl would have handled that last night?
Oh, my God. Earl Weaver, he would have tore into them so much. He would have been thrown out after the first down. You know what I mean?
He'd have torn a hole a mile wide in him. That's what he'd have done.
I just think all the money this owner has, and they should have added more to the offense at this trading deadline. They didn't have to give in like they did, get rid of all those players. They could have added offense to this team. The starting pitcher's been doing good, and maybe added a closer.
Well, they decided to go with young prospects. That's.
It's the second time we're rebuilding since Elias has been here.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. And Rich Dubrov's coming up next. I'm gonna bounce that one off him. Tom, good hearing from you.
Take care, buddy.
All right, there he goes. Rich and Bruce, you guys stay right where you are. We'll get you on the other side of Rich. But Rich Dubroff, BaltimoreBaseball.com, joins us next.
The teams you grew up with
Ravens are world champions.
are the ones you still love today. 105.7 The Fan.
Your home will sell guaranteed. Hire the Lee Tessier team with eXp Realty. If Lee can't find you a buyer, he'll buy it himself. LeeTessier.com.
If you're selling your home, don't make it hard. Just call Lee Tessier.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
That's Elena's family group chat. It never stops. Someone's always sending a blessing
or starting a poll about the baby shower theme at midnight.
With Real Unlimited from Total Wireless, she's always in the loop, whether she wants to be or not. Switch to Total Wireless Total Starter Plan or higher and get a Samsung Galaxy A16 5G on us. Total Wireless, your own Real Unlimited. Offer ends 11/4/2026 or while supplies last. Devices, taxes, and fees may apply.
Popeye's $5 faves menu just keeps adding your faves. Next up, butterfly shrimp. They've got that bold Louisiana kick that makes them just as crave-worthy as the chicken side of the menu. Try 8 crunchy butterfly shrimp in classic or dusted in Popeye's serious flavor seasonings. Head to your nearest Popeye's to get them now on our $5 faves menu.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
At participating U.S. restaurants, price may vary, tax extra.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 100 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible port and no cash access and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks and a member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back. Bruce Cunningham Show on a Saturday here in Baltimore. Little programming note, Mike Popovic, no show today. He's off this week, and I'll tell you why. He's down there at the White Marlin Open. He's one of the co-MCs, and it's a highlight of his year, and I'm happy for him. He'll be back from 3 to 6 next Saturday. Joining us now from BaltimoreBaseball.com, it's Rich Dubroff. And Rich, The old saying goes that the certain pitcher should sue his team for non-support, and certainly that would be true of Shane Baz. This is almost uncanny what happens every time he takes the mound.
Right, you are, Bruce. I mean, the Orioles are 6-17 when he pitches, and his ERA is well under 4. You know, they don't use the term hard luck loser anymore.
Right,
but that's certainly what Baz is, because he's certainly pitched well enough in many of his games, not most, but many of his games. And if the Orioles had, won a few more of them, then we might have something different to talk about this week.
Yeah. Baz admitted after the game that he's frustrated. Well, I imagine he is. You know, you can't really pitch much better than he's been pitching. I threw some numbers at the folks earlier, and he should have 5 or 6 wins in that span. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it is. And, there's really no explanation for it. It's not like, oh, well, he's always facing the Orioles are always facing the number one starter when he's, when he starts for them. So there really is. That's one of the anomalies of baseball. Every once in a while, you'll see a pitcher like that just gets no support. So, and I don't want to say, oh, it'll even out, because it won't even out. No. He can, he's got probably 8 starts left, and that's not enough to even out all the losses the Orioles have suffered when he's been on the mound.
Do you think this is something that they address in the offseason? Not necessarily bringing in more offense, but trying to understand why the offense they have is not working?
Well, I think they have to bring in new players, and what they did this week was not helpful for the near term.
Right.
And bringing in Christian Franklin, who never played in the major leagues, for Taylor Ward, is not going to help the offense. So that's something that yes, they're going to have to look at it, because I think they really need better outfielders. This is not going to cut it. How the outfielders are playing, how they're hitting is not going to cut it. But they have Cowser and they have Beavers, and I think they're going to stick with those two. And then O'Neill will be back for his third year. But I think they have to find a way to get some more punch.
They really do. I haven't talked to you since the trading deadline on Monday when everything happened. A lot of people were really shocked by the Adley-Rutschman deal, but then as the day went on and went into the next day, I think people started to understand it better.
Yeah, well, since I was the one who kept saying, well, they're not going to trade Adley-Rutschman, and they shouldn't trade Adley-Rutschman, but they traded Adley-Rutschman. And I didn't think that they were going to until that day. I don't know about understanding it. I mean, people are frustrated because they thought that this group was going to be more productive than it has been. 2 playoff appearances, no playoff wins this year, they're now probably going to finish under 500 for the second straight year. That's unacceptable to fans, and it should be. But I don't know. I don't know if these trades are going to help them. But I understand the reason behind it. Trading Rutschman now, and I think because the Red Sox were going to give them a whole lot, or what the Orioles felt was a whole lot, then they wanted to do it. The interesting question is, if they hadn't made the deal for the Red Sox, would they have made it with the Yankees or with somebody else? But obviously, the Red Sox gave them a lot. Because if you look at the Orioles, and I think I'm going to probably write about this for Monday, but if you look at what the Orioles have gotten from this trade and from the trade for Tyler Wells and for some of the trades last year and some of their draftees, they now have the biggest stock of promising minor league pitchers in a very long time. And, of course, they're prospects. And not all of them are going to work out. They're not going to keep all of them. I think in order to address what we were talking about a minute ago, they may use some of the pitchers that they've drafted or traded for to try and get young hitters. What they did which is totally different from when Elias first started drafting, which was, he'd draft catchers and shortstops and center fielders because those were the positions of need. And, they traded Joey Ortiz and Darrell Hernandez, and they ended up getting Corbin Burns for a year and Cole Irvin. And that, of course, the Burns trade was a good one, but that's sort of the type of thinking now is, we're going to accumulate all these pitchers and we're going to use some, and then we're going to trade some. So that's what you're looking at. And, will it help them win in 2027? I don't know. We don't know what 2027 is going to look like in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it's fascinating. And I wonder, well, gee, if they had waited till the end of the year, taken a shot with Rutschman and Ward. But I think that they pretty much decided, especially after last weekend, that if you had the group that was presently the group that they currently had was not good enough to win.
Right.
Because sorry, but I was just going to make one point.
No, go ahead.
It hadn't. You got to 100. You got to 110 games, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good enough to win. They've been bouncing around at. For much of the time, between 2 games under 500 and as many as 9 games under 500. They've been bouncing around, and they never could make a sustained breakthrough. And it didn't seem likely to them that they were going to make a sustained breakthrough with this group.
They've certainly given this group a chance, that's for sure. Buster Olney earlier this week wrote that maybe Gunnar isn't going to want to re-sign. I don't want to really speculate on that, but after having seen Rutschman get traded, I don't think anybody's off the table right now. Am I wrong?
Oh, no. But you look at Henderson, and right now his value is not what it was a year ago.
No.
You had Gunnar in 2023, and that was terrific. And then 2024 was still good, and then 2025 was disappointing, and then this year it's not very good at all. And none of us we keep thinking, when he has a 2 or 3 hit game, here he goes, and then he falls, but then he falls back. If you tried to trade Gunnar right now, you'd get a good package, because maybe he'd be happier elsewhere. I don't know, but I think that I would have said, it's lunacy to think about trading Gunnar this offseason, but maybe they do. I think that it's best, if they don't have. Yes, you could put Jackson Holliday at shortstop, and you could hope that Jordan Westburg is going to be back to play third, and then and then put Blaze Alexander at second, or either of those, and hope that the team would be a good one. But I think the team's best shot at winning next year is with Gunnar Henderson, and if they're not, if you have another year in 26, first half of 26, like you have, and you have that in 2027, then you got to think about trading them.
Yeah. I like I said, if you show me that article 2 weeks ago that Buster wrote, I'd have said there's no way that's going to happen. But now, after having seen what happened earlier this week, I'm not ruling anything out. And the other thing is, with all the talent they brought in, and we touched upon this a minute ago, but I was listening to Steve Molesky yesterday. The Oriole farm system is now ranked 2nd overall after that restock.
Fangraphs ranked them second. I mean, I haven't seen what Baseball America and MLB.com does, but that's because they have all all these young pitchers.
Sure.
And the other guy that they got from the Red Sox, Andy Azokar, looks like he could be a real prospect. And most people think that their number one draft choice, Eric Booth, was a really good one. Young center fielder, for a high school player from Mississippi. So it looks like, yes, they've stocked the farm system. But what's interesting is this time they have stocked the farm system with a lot of interesting pitchers. In the past, it was position players.
Right.
And they didn't have a lot of pitchers. They had D.L. Hall and Grayson Rodriguez, who were both drafted by the previous regime.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a lot of pitchers. And also, they don't have a lot of position players who are major league ready. The ones that they have, Wahiwa Aloy is now at AAA. He may be the eventual replacement for Gunnar Henderson. I mean, a year from now, let's say they're floundering and they trade Gunnar, and then maybe they bring up Aloy.
Yeah.
But they don't have a huge number of great position prospects. They have, a few, Azokar and Booth, but they are still very, very young players.
Is it unfair to say that this window, this young core that opened this window, is this window closing?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because in one of his recent media briefings, Mike Elias denied that there was such a thing as a window, because his aim, he has said over the years, and I think the first time he said this was before they got good in 2022, that he thought that they were going to be a transactional ball club, and this sort of proves it. They'll have some players, they signed Shade Boz and Kyle Bradish and Samuel Basayo, and they have Pete Alonso and now Yennier Cano. They're here for a while with their contracts, but everybody else, we'll see.
Yeah.
That they are up to being traded, and he thinks if he does it this way, he thinks that maybe the so-called window for the franchise to win can get extended. And I know that's very frustrating for fans, because I'm not here to defend Elias, and I'm not here to criticize.
You're
Elias.
a reporter. You're here to report.
Well, I'm trying to analyze. Trying to analyze. And, a lot of people write to me and think, well, gee, I should be all critical of Elias. And, what do I do? Why am I not critical of him? I've been critical of some of the things that he's done, but, I don't think that, I'm not there. As you said, I am a reporter, and I do have some opinions, but I'm not going to be there, saying, well, he's the greatest general manager, or, he's not the greatest general manager.
No. He showed some promise and he made some moves, but he's not the greatest. Rich, as always, thanks for your time. And I'm happy this week we didn't even touch upon the potential work stoppage, so that's a good thing.
Well, unfortunately,
all winter.
We'll have plenty of time for that.
No question. Rich, thanks as always for your time.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you, Bruce.
All right, there he goes. Rich Dubroff, BaltimoreBaseball.com. I go to it every day. You should too. In fact, former Sun writer Peter Schmuck, his headline this morning on BaltimoreBaseball.com made me laugh, because I know Peter. He said, Orioles show once again that good pitching is overrated. Phones are back open. 410-583-1057. Rich and Bruce, you're number 1 and 2. Stick around.
What happens next happens here. Baltimore Sports Radio.
That ball is out of here.
105.7 The Fan.
Why do landscaping pros prefer Echo outdoor power equipment? In a word, power. Echo Power means extreme power, day in and day out, sun up to sundown. Professional-grade Echo blowers, string trimmers, and chainsaws maximize productivity, powering through the toughest jobs nature can throw their way. Experience Echo Power for yourself at Liberty Discount Lawn Equipment in Upper Co. or visit LibertyDiscount.com to learn more. That's LibertyDiscount.com. Echo. Power on and on.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, A dead car battery. Bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage, roadside assistance for breakdowns, bill negotiation to help lower your bills, identity theft aid for peace of mind, and you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You can do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible port and no cash access and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks, N.A. member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible port and no cash access and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks, N.A. member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Bruce Cunningham Show. I'm looking out the window and it's raining again. You know, it's typical Maryland. You know, we have a drought for 9 months, and then we got nothing but rain for days and days. I was in the upstairs of my house yesterday afternoon, and I looked outside and it was absolutely pouring, And then I went downstairs and it had stopped already. You know, and I'm trying to schedule grass cutting and things, and it's going to be in the 90s, and I may die this week. I just might. So if I'm not here Saturday, you'll know why. 410-583-1057. Rich in Key West, how you doing?
Good, Bruce. Doing fine down here in Key West.
We appreciate you holding as long as you did. We really do.
No problem, buddy. Listening to your conversation with Rich Dubroff.
Yeah.
Harking back to what Jim Palmer always said about prospects. Prospects will get you fired. But that's not why I called. And I'm sure you're familiar with this, but I want to read you a quote from Rubenstein. Mike Arrighetti and I have tripled the salaries, yet we went from first place to last place, Rubenstein joked. It's a little frustrating and embarrassing. I'm really embarrassed about it, but I'm trying to do what I can to fix it and turn it around. I guess what I want to do is I want to get your reaction to that and go a little bit further to ask you if you know what role Mike Arrighetti plays in this ownership group.
As I understand it, all those guys are wealthy in this group, okay? But Arrighetti is the guy who knows baseball the most.
That's what I thought.
They kind of lean on his baseball knowledge the most. I don't know if he influences a lot of decisions that way or not, but he is known as the baseball guy in the group. And as far as Rubenstein goes, he should be embarrassed. This is an embarrassing team this year. How in the world can you look at this team and say it's anything but embarrassing? Seriously.
Do you think it is an indictment against the Lions?
Yep. I do. Whether it should be or not, that can be argued. But somebody's got to answer for this, and he's about the only guy left,
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not real big on firing guys either. I'm not. You'll never hear me call for that. But in this case, I don't know what other move they can make.
No, I'm not either. I'm just a big, long-time Oriole fan, man. I go back to the Kitty Corps in 1960 with Barber and Estrada and Pappas and those guys.
Wow.
And it's just a hard team to watch. But look, if it rains too much in Maryland, come down to Key West. It's 88-80 down here. 88 during the day and 80 at night.
I got you, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. Stay out of the sun. 410-583-1057. Bruce in Arizona. What's going on?
Hi, Bruce.
Hi there.
Come on out. There's no rain out here.
That's the truth. I'll tell you a funny story. When I was at Fox 45, we had a weather guy for a while named Steve Teeling, and he left us to go to Phoenix. And I thought I went to see him, and I said, "You just got the best job in broadcasting. Every night, sunny and hot."
Yeah. Well, the most boring job in the world, the weather forecaster in San Diego.
That's great too. Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, something real quick. Do you happen to know, or could you check to see what the timetable is for the kid coming back that the Orioles got from Arizona? Is he going to be back?
Which one? Which one are we talking about?
Blaze.
Oh yeah, they expect him back. They're not really saying when, but that particular, it's a bone broken in or fractured in his hand, so it's going to take a while. I would be surprised if he came back, but they have not yet said he's not coming back. Mountcastle is not coming back either. I mean, we know that. So there's that.
What is Mountcastle's injury, or is it one of those mysterious things again?
No, he broke his foot. Broke his foot running, legging out a double, or a triple, I think it was. Yeah, and, those Liz and Frank, you get into that, and that can be years,
Yeah. I don't know, obviously, how to fix it. But the thing that frustrates me probably more than anything about the Orioles, of course, the on-base percentage is a problem. But the defense, man, I yearn for the days. Bruce,
Me too.
When JJ was at shortstop and Chris was at first, I could count on if it was anything more than a ground ball routine to JJ.
Yeah,
he was not only going to have to, he was not going to make a bad throw, but 90% of the time, Chris didn't even move the glove.
Yeah, I mean, that team could really play defense. I think because that team was so good offensively, I thought the defense got overlooked a lot. But those Buck teams that went to the playoffs, those are some of the best teams I've seen, and I've been here 35 years,
I'm not petitioning for anybody to get fired, but if they do decide to change the whole front office structure, I'm looking hard at not the GMs, but the people under the GMs and the run the farm system of Milwaukee and Tampa.
Yeah.
And depending on them, if they're out of contract or if their teams get permission, I'm going hard after those.
Well, that's kind of what they did with Albernaz. Albernaz was part of that deal in Cleveland, which is also, managing to win with a low payroll. And they thought maybe he could bring the special sauce, but I'm not seeing it.
Well, but Albernaz was a manager and a coach. I'm talking about the people underneath.
Right. Okay. All right. You're right. You're not wrong.
You got to identify, and if they're available, you got to go hard after them because there's something going on there with these teams like Tampa and Milwaukee.
Yeah, they figured it out. They've unlocked it. Bruce, thanks for waiting, man. I got to move on. Appreciate the call. Let's get one more in here. Let's get Warren. What's going on, Warren? Hey there. How you doing?
Hey, Bruce. How are you, man? You just answered one of my questions. I thought you came here in the 80s, but you came here like 90 or 91?
91.
Yeah, okay. Because that's the point I was getting ready to make. But first, I want to talk Gunnar really quick. And I remember I talked about it on your show a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But I first back in May, and Bob Haynie disagreed with him, but now he's coming around because I said back in May, Gunnar was playing himself out of millions of dollars every series.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think this week he had Steve Molesky. I think it was Molesky on, and Molesky said, "Yeah, a couple years ago, Gunnar was going to be a $500 million contract. Now he's down in the $200 or $300 million." And I called Bob that day, and I said, "Look, I think he'd be lucky to get in the $200 million range now." But that's what I wanted to talk about was, and I know you're not in the locker room anymore, and maybe you can speculate on this because we're probably not going to know for a couple of years. But why do you think people like Adley? The rumor was that he had no interest in re-signing with the Orioles, so they had to make a move because he got a year and 2 months left, and there's probably not going to be much of a season next year.
Right.
So they had to make a move. But then they're also saying that Gunnar has no interest in re-signing here. And why do you think
I read that too, and that's Buster Olney that wrote that. I mean, that's not some clown, So there's got to be a grain of truth to it.
We probably won't know for a couple of years when all the dust settles. But I remember back, and this was before you came, in the late 70s and early 80s, after we drafted Eddie Murray, and then when he came up, and I think Cal came up in 81, I want to say.
That's exactly when he did.
Back then, they used to say it was great to be young and a young Oriole. Yeah. And that was back when we were the envy of baseball, but those guys really wanted to be here. And of course, now the franchise isn't nearly as good. But I'm just wondering why. And, we paid real money to get Alonso. We apparently offered as much as the Phillies did to get Schwarber this year, and he decided to go back there. So I'm wondering, unless we're really lowballing these guys, why they're not interested in staying around here.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of them listen to their agents a little too much, and I don't think the Orioles are real popular with Scott Boras. I don't think he likes the direction of this team, and I think he's advising his guys, to maybe look elsewhere. And if I were him, I'd probably say the same thing.
Certainly now, but Adley isn't a Boras client. So.
Yeah, he's not, but they saw the handwriting on the wall on that one too. I was a little bit surprised they pulled that trigger because that was a major move to make. But after the dust cleared and I thought about it, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, if he wasn't going to sign here.
Well, Warren, here's the thing. You're an attorney. You got to watch what the opposition does, right? When I saw that they signed Basayo long term, I should have known right then that Adley's days were numbered, right?
Well, I said that a couple months ago, but also, and I know you got to go. Last quick point is they had 5 guys who played either first base or catcher.
Right.
When they started this year, Moncastle and Mayo was still going to be a first baseman.
Mm-hmm.
Alonso's going to play every day.
Right.
And then Basayo and Adley, their other position is first base. So between signing Basayo and then being locked out of being able to play first base anytime, that might have something to do with that situation. But thanks for listening to me, Bruce.
All right, Warren. Appreciate the call, man. That's it for hour number 1. Coming up next hour, I don't have a guest, but I got something special I want to do at the bottom of next hour, and I will tell you what it is after the break. And by the way, I got 5 of you on the line. Everybody stay right where you are. I'll get to every one of you.
Wherever the Orioles season takes you.
Say goodbye to this ball.
Download the free Odyssey app and hear reactions to all the biggest moments. Download it today and search 105.7 The Fan.
This weekend only at Old Navy, get 50% off all activewear for the fam and 50% off all toddler and baby styles. Yep, 50% off all activewear plus 50% off all toddler and baby styles this Saturday and Sunday only.
It's Old Navy, baby.
Valid 8-8-9. Excludes clearance, licensed maternity, third party, and Old Navy x Disney.
Hey, it's Ken Wyman. The Final Drive is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, the MLB season is in full swing, and FanDuel's giving you a chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game. And if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. It's just another reason why FanDuel is the home of home run. So are you ready to play your game? Head over to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local to opt in for Daily Dingers and make your free pick on who's hitting a homer. Play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 105.7 The Fan. 21 plus and present in Maryland. No purchase necessary. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Please play responsibly. For help, visit them at mdgamblinghelp.org or give them a call at 1-800-GAMBLER.
The first ever Infiniti QX65 feels unstoppable. In a world that is frozen in its ways, this sporty fastback SUV never stops moving forward. Turbocharged performance, intelligent all-wheel drive standard, ProPilot Assist 2.1. This is a ride beyond the expected. This is unstoppable progress. Discover the first ever Infiniti QX65 at InfinityUSA.com. 2027 QX65 expected early summer 2026.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a social media manager.
Did you just post our Q4 earnings to your personal social media?
Oh yeah, used the trending audio and everything.
That's confidential financial data.
Relax. It only went a little viral.
The SEC just commented with the eyeball watching emoji.
This is your job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
I scream. You scream. We all scream. Because Wendy's famous small classic Frosty is just $1 for a limited time. More screaming, happy screaming, summer screaming, dollar small classic Frosty screaming! But please don't scream in the drive-thru. It hurts the employees' ears. Get a $1 small classic Frosty for a limited time, only at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. A la carte only, not valid for delivery. Limit 10 per transaction. Price may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Bruce Cunningham Show off and running. Some early E Street Band from the Wild, the Innocent, and E Street Shuffle. That's Kitty's Back. That's a great tune. One of my favorites. 410-583-1057. Well, after basically getting their souls crushed last night, the Orioles are back at it again tonight. They wasted a fine start from Shane Baz, probably the best start he's ever had as a major leaguer. I mean, 8 innings, 3 hits, and they just can't score runs for him. And this is an ongoing problem. I read you some numbers earlier. I can read them again, but it would probably just depress you. So they're in Texas again tonight. Another fine young pitcher, Kyle Bradish, is going for the Orioles against Jacob deGrom. Bradish 7'10", 3.79 earned run average, but he also a victim of anemic offensive support. You heard Rich Dubroff last hour, and he went as deep into that as I'm used to. And basically, the bottom line is nobody knows. Nobody knows why they're not hitting. I don't get it. They got all this potential. They got all these young players, and we had all these rosy visions after 2022, and who knew we'd be sitting here in August of 2026 thoroughly disgusted. And I think most of us feel that way, thoroughly disgusted. And as far as going to the games, those tickets ain't cheap. This is not something you can do a lot. So when people go to see the Orioles, it's more of an event now than it used to be because of these ticket prices. And the least you can hope for is maybe your team's got a chance to win. But, if they're getting these great starts and they're not scoring any runs for these people, what's the point? All it does is frustrate me. I know you probably feel the same way, but my goodness. I'm going to find these numbers again, and I'm gonna throw these at you. Okay. Baz has allowed 3 or fewer runs in 14 of his last 15 starts and lowered his ERA to 3.76. Yet, he's 4-11 on the season because he's lost a lot of games that he had every right to win. And I'm just so frustrated. I don't know what to do. They pay me to come in here on Saturdays and talk sports, but the Orioles is to the point I'm trying not to cuss. It's that way. So I'm not going to. 410-583-1057. Joe and Perry Hall, what's going on?
Hi, Bruce. It's a great show as usual.
Thanks.
A lot of people talk about going back to the Oriole way,
mm-hmm.
And I'd be satisfied with going back to Little League way. There's a lot of things that you learn in Little League that the Orioles are not doing. I'll give you two examples. Number one, they teach you until you get 2 strikes, you hit. It's not the pitcher's pitch. And I'm so tired of watching guys swing at strike 1 that bounces in the other batter's box.
Yeah.
That's not their pitch. So I think plate discipline is a real big problem. Pete Alonso is a good one for that. And I love the man. I really love him. But he'll swing. He's like Lee May used to be. And Mountcastle used to be. Low and outside, bounce, they'll swing at it.
Yeah,
Okay? That's number one problem. And the second problem is, I remember when they talked, I think it was Enos Slaughter, Country Slaughter. He played into his 40s. He said, how long are you going to play? And he was known for his hustle. He says, as long as these young kids don't run out of ground ball. And I'm watching every night. And I'll pick on Gunnar, and Sam Basayo's the same way. They hit a ground ball to second base, and they'll trot to first.
I agree.
With no pressure on the fielder. And
I've seen them both do that. I've seen them both do that. And you would think at the major league level you'd have more pride than to do that, you know?
That's exactly right. And that goes back to the manager. Because if they'd say to him, hey, listen, you don't want to run out balls, I'll find somebody that does, because I know somebody that can hit 215 and runs out ground balls like you don't. So anyway, that
burns me. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I am. All right, man. Thanks for the call, Joe. Appreciate it. I'm an old Perry Hall guy, you know. I spent my first 16 years out there. And both of my kids came up through the Perry Hall Rec. They both went to Perry Hall High. I got Perry Hall in my veins, I guess. Let's go to Andre and Glen Burnie. Andre, what's going on?
How you doing, Bruce? Good talking to you again.
Yeah.
Hey, just watching this team, and I was born in '63, just turned 63 this past Thursday, and I've watched the Orioles in their heyday and everything, and it really hurts me to see my sons watch this debacle that happens almost every night.
Yeah.
I was friends with Paul Blair. I used to bowl with him, and I remember asking Paul one time, I said, when the Orioles went through that 14-year stretch of not winning, and I said, how do you feel about this team, the guys losing? He said, I don't know how they feel. I never was on a losing team.
He's right.
He was on a losing team. He was with the Orioles.
And then the Yankees, right? Yeah, he's right. That's a good point.
And then the Big Red Machine, he went to them at the end of his career.
That's right. I'd forgotten that. Yeah. Wow, you're right. He never had played on a losing team. That's great.
Yes. So, the fundamentals and, I thought Albanese was hired because he was going to be this big guy with fundamentals and get them back to playing fundamental baseball. But I feel like he has no clue.
I haven't seen an Oriole team play defense this bad since I've been here, and I got here in 1991. And there were some bad teams over that period, but this team might be the worst defensively.
Yeah, it is. And I'm a very optimistic person. Optimism went out the window a while ago.
I'm out of optimism, too. I mean, I watch him every night, but I'm not expecting anything. This is just so disappointing.
Yeah, I expect the worst to happen all the time instead of the best.
Yeah, well, that's probably not a bad way to be. Andre, great to hear from you, man. Thanks for the call. 410-583-1057. Jimmy in Silver Spring, what's going on?
Hey, Bruce, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I'm gonna talk about the Hall of Fame, but really, I hear you guys still talking about Jordan Westburg. Man, we need to start not counting on Jordan Westburg. Jordan Westburg is damaged goods.
He gets hurt a lot. He gets hurt a lot. He does.
Yeah. Hurt people get hurt. Real quick, last week's Orioles Hall of Fame, I've talked to you about this before.
Mm-hmm.
I love Rafael Palmeiro.
Yeah.
Why the Orioles won't put him in the Oriole Hall of Fame is ridiculous.
I agree. And they're afraid of this steroid taint. All of baseball is.
They have Brady, but you got mad at me just saying this before, Bruce. But they put Brady Anderson in there. He is the poster boy for steroids.
He was never accused of it. I mean, he was never. There's nothing. They didn't.
Hey, Bruce,
Major League. Well,
hit 50 home runs.
I understand.
He never hit 18 after that, or never hit.
I understand, but that's circumstantial. That's circumstantial evidence. I'm just saying that nobody ever accused Brady, and they have accused Palmeiro. But if you're boosting Palmeiro for the Oriole Hall of Fame. I'm 1,000% behind that. I'm going to tell you the impact that Rafael Palmeiro had. Do you know he was only the fourth player to get 500 home runs and 3,000 hits?
And Rafael Palmeiro is my favorite baseball
Mine too,
player.
and I tell you what,
the reason I got into baseball was because of two men, Rafael Palmeiro and Phil Wood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I know all about Rafael Palmeiro.
Yeah.
I can give you some stats. But real quick, I want to talk about the NFL Hall of Fame.
All right.
Adam Vinatieri, like you said earlier, is the best kicker that ever kicked in the NFL. People talk about Tom Brady. Adam Vinatieri was the most valuable player on the first 3 Super Bowls.
Do you remember when they brought the snowplow on the field?
I do.
And he made that one too, didn't he?
Yeah, that was an AFC Championship game against Raiders. That's when they used that tuck rule crap. But real quick, I want to talk about two guys.
All right.
The NFL Hall of Fame is first round pick prejudice. There are two guys, and I've talked to you every year. I call up. There are two guys. I'm not a Redskin fan. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
There are two guys that need to be in the Hall of Fame. Joe Jacoby, who is, I think, still the last member of the All-80s Decade team that's not in the Hall of Fame.
I agree totally.
You guys talk about Jonathan Ogden, and, I know his family personally, but Jonathan Ogden was not the left tackle that Joe Jacoby was. Joe Jacoby was an undrafted free agent. He played for the best offensive line, the Hogs, in the history of the NFL. Real quick, the second guy I want to talk about is Darren Woodson.
Yeah. He's
Darren
another
Woodson
one.
was an All-Pro 4 years in a row.
No, he should be. Let me give you another one. Otis Taylor.
Yeah. Okay,
Kansas City Chiefs. Remember him?
Yeah.
How in the hell is he not in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know, man. But like I said, Darren Woodson is the Cowboys' all-time leading tackle.
Oh, yeah.
If you go back and look at the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 safeties, and you look at their numbers. See, back in our day, in the original 4-3 and original defenses, your middle linebacker and your strong safety, the defense was aligned for those to be your leading tackle.
Right.
I'm still an old school football guy. I still want my safeties to come up and tackle. All right? I love the show, Bruce. I'll listen to you.
All right, Jimmy, thanks. I appreciate it. It's funny he said that about safeties because when I first started doing Ravens games, we hadn't had the NFL here in a while, and I didn't cover the NFL close up in those days. But one of the things I learned was on the stat sheet, if your safety's leading the team in tackles, you got a big problem. It's one of the things Ted Marchibroda taught me. He also taught me on punts. You want them between the numbers and the sideline because that eliminates 75% of the field. There are all kinds of things like that I learned, that I had to learn when we got the team back. It was such an exciting time. 30 years ago this month that training camp opened out in Westminster. It's amazing that 30 years have passed that fast. All right, the phones are still jacked. I got one line. If you want to grab it, 410-583-1057. The rest of you sit where you are. We're coming right back.
Big Bad Morning Show, Vinny and Haynie, and the Final Drive. Live on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 6 till 6. Search 105.7 The Fan, Baltimore. And never miss a moment of coverage on the teams you love.
I'm Eric Sobel, and Ace Law is here for you. After an accident, the last thing you need is to feel like just another case file. At Ace Law, we take the time to understand what you're going through and what matters most to you and your family. You'll receive the personal attention, honest guidance, and a team that's with you every step of the way. While you focus on healing, we'll focus on the insurance companies, the paperwork, and take care of the rest. Call us at 8888 ACE Law, 8888 ACE Law, and come up Aces.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off.
That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks, like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 410-921-0667 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. Call 410-921-0667 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 410-921-0667 for fast, easy, and affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 410-921-0667.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back. I love that. I don't want no watchdog. I want a man. That's great. 410-583-1057. Bruce Cunningham on what has become a rainy Saturday here up at the Radio Ranch. I don't know what it's doing where you are, but man, it's pouring out here. Gee whiz. 410-583-1057. Jonathan in Essex, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Bruce? Yeah, it's raining out here, man. I'm over here on Joppa Road. The rain's coming down. I just wanted to call to kind of say, you know what? You know, talking about Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rush and not being here. Those guys, you hung up on me before, and I'm telling you, call them a couple months ago. They guys don't want to be here. I can see it in their body language. I didn't have to wait for the reporting. I didn't have to wait for that. I went on and did my own assessment, and it was accurate. The same one I did about the Baltimore Ravens. You hung up on me about 3 weeks ago.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different matter. And let's not talk about why you get hung up on. Let's talk about what you called for today.
That's why I called up.
Okay.
I didn't call for nothing else. That's what I called for. I didn't call to say, hi, Bruce, how's the music? I called to tell you what I got hung up on, and I wanted to give you the reason why. Okay. And I wanted to pat myself on the back when I'm right. That's all.
All right, Jonathan.
I want to break my arm. Thanks, Bruce.
Consider your back
Way to go, Jonathan.
Way to go, Jonathan. Way to go. Consider your back padded. I was saying that in my head, back padded. I was saying, boy, there's a lot of room for error there. You know, so I'm glad that came out good. 410-583-1057. Tony in Bel Air, what's going on?
Hey, Bruce. Good afternoon. I guess I want to talk about so much to talk about with the Orioles, but I'll pick on the defense and how it's coached. I've been to a lot of games this year. I've probably only missed 5.
Wow.
And I get to see infield practice and batting practice, if you call it that.
Right.
The left side of our infield, there's this new way of teaching these kids, and it's not just Mayo. It's every third baseman and shortstops where they play extra deep, and then they come running in and swipe at the ball with their glove hand.
Mm-hmm.
Their throwing hand is far away from the glove, so they think they're getting to it quicker. But instead of fielding the ball, playing, 2 steps behind the bag like most of the teams I see play, and fielding the ball with 2 hands so the throwing hand is close to the transfer, they don't, and they throw off balance. I was at the game Thursday, and I saw Gunnar field a ball and then run like 4 steps before throwing. Everything is taught to be off balance. There is no plant foot ever on the left side of our infield, and that makes for our throwing to be inaccurate. And then our outfielders, they just don't get jumps on ball.
Right.
They don't get jumps on balls at all, even Kowser. But Kowser has enough athleticism to get back. Tavares is not a good outfielder. I don't know why they say he is, but he doesn't go full speed at anything, And so, I think the number one thing is defense. And
the thing about that, Tony, is that in Baltimore, that's one thing we could always count on from the Orioles. The Orioles always played great defense, strong fundamentally. Even when they had those terrible teams, they weren't out there making a lot of errors. They just weren't very good. That's why this is so hard to swallow,
They're just poor fundamentals. I don't know how, if you're Palmer and McDonald and Bordick, you just got to shake your head. If the average fan like I am, and I've been following baseball since '69, but I've seen all the greats, and you see a common denominator, whether it's Mark Belanger or J.J. Hardy, they do the same things, and Cal Ripken Sr. was kind of leading the way on that, is how to field a ground ball, how to plant your foot and get a strong throw. These guys just don't get it. So I think it's Elias. I think he needs to be fired because it's his approach that he is mandating that the coaches that he hires teach. So I don't even know if it's the coach's fault, but it's being mandated to teach it this way. So that's my thoughts on it.
All right, and I'm glad we didn't bring up the offense because that's another half hour we get to right there, Tony. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. 410-583-1057. Let's go. I guess we're going to Corey in Baltimore. Corey, what's up?
Hey, Bruce. How you doing?
Not good.
Not good, yeah. I want to start with something positive.
Please.
I wouldn't quite agree that the Orioles, some of these players might not think that, we're investing to win. We locked up 2 pitchers this year. If we can sign Rodgers, I think that's another, evidence.
I'm starting to feel optimistic.
Making moves.
I'm starting to feel optimistic about that. And I'm feeling optimistic about it tied to the Adley trade. That's a lot of salary they're not having to pay next year. And I'm just saying that could work out.
Yeah, it's good. That definitely creates some room. So we'll see what happens. But, going back to the Orioles offense, what do you think the problem is?
I don't know.
At some point, we got to blame the players for just not performing.
Yeah.
To me, I think we could really benefit from a guy like Jorge Mateo, someone chippy on the bases that could steal some bags and create some havoc. I know the game's just chasing the home run hitters these days.
Oh, yeah.
We got to do something different because, every night, like you said, we're just coming up short.
And the thing is, it's the freaking American League East. You can't screw around in the American League East. Everybody's good, You can't not hit, That's why it's so frustrating to me.
Yeah, well, maybe once we lock down another starter or two, we can.
Well, they've made a lot of them. I agree. Thanks for the call, Corey. They've made a lot of moves. This past off season, they really did. And then during this season, signing these young players long term, it's not like they're just sitting there, but man, this is frustrating. Wally, it says on the East Coast. We're all on the East Coast, Wally. How are you?
I think she meant to say the Eastern Shore.
Eastern Shore. Well, she's from Buffalo. She's from Buffalo. She don't know anything.
Yeah, Bruce, you know what? All the calls today coming into you are probably going to sound like a broken record.
Because we're living a broken record. You hear me? We're living a broken record with these guys, aren't we?
We are, I've told my friends a lot. Watching these games is literally like watching Groundhog Day. Like the offense is so putrid and so frustrating to watch. And you know what, Bruce? I'm going to go back to 2023. 2023 was an amazing season.
It really was.
It really was. But in that 2023 season, Bruce, everything went our way. Everything. We had so many one-run wins.
Agree.
Felix Bautista was huge. The offense was good. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't great.
It was solid.
It was solid. 2024, I'm almost thinking that 2023 season hurt them more than helped them.
How so?
It put so much pressure on all these young kids in the following seasons now at such a higher level. And I'm going to go against management as well. After that 2023 season, they didn't do anything, really, to get that squad to the next level. They didn't sign a big free agent. They didn't go get a huge arm. They kind of did what they did in 2014. They were right on the cusp, but they didn't do what they had to do to get to the next level. They were relying on all these young kids. Now, this year they went out and got Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
And to me, I love Pete Alonso. I do. But he seems to be even falling in these bad trends that we have offensively. Like, to me, he hasn't. I mean, he went on a little run. He started super slow, and then he went on a run where he was good, and now he's just kind of back in a rut again. He's not hitting any better than any of the rest of these guys are. And
you know what? It's contagious. Good hitting's contagious, and so is bad hitting.
I don't know if it's a system thing. I saw Jim Palmer had posted something that, and as soon as Mike Elias came in, one of the first things he did was get rid of Terry Crowley and brought in his own people, and obviously wanted to do a lot of analytical stuff and change a lot of things. But I don't know.
I hear you. Hey, I got to hit a break, but let me make one point before I tell you goodbye. Wasn't the defense a lot better under Brandon Hyde? I'm just saying. Right?
It was.
I don't think that firing was necessary. I really don't. Hey, I got to hit a break. Wally, thanks for calling. Stick around, everybody. We're coming right back.
If you're thinking about it,
every day,
we're talking about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
105.7 The Fan.
Jeremy Kahn here to tell you this summer, treat yourself and taste the Baltimore tradition. That is the legendary Costas Inn. And this summer, you can enjoy hot steamed crabs for carryout or right in the comfort of their dining room. And it's at the original location on North Point Boulevard. And when you do, make sure you tell them Jeremy Kahn sent you.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen. A dead car battery. Bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage, roadside assistance for breakdowns, bill negotiation to help lower your bills, identity theft aid for peace of mind, and you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You can do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks, like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 410-921-0667 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. Call 410-921-0667 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 410-921-0667 for fast, easy, and affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 410-921-0667.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
If you need me, call me. No matter where you are, no matter how far.
Don't worry, baby.
Oh, man. Marvin and Tammy. Can you get any better than that?
Don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough.
How great is that? You know, Diana Ross did a cover. It was completely different. It was very good too, but this is the Roots version here. This is the one I like. Welcome back, Bruce Cunningham Show. We're with you till 3 o'clock. Want to remind you one more time, no Mike Popovic show today. Mike took vacation. He's down at the White Marlin Open. He's a co-MC, and he loves it, and that's where he is today. Next week, everybody's back in place, so don't be alarmed. 410-583-1057. Charles in Reisterstown, what's going on?
Bruce.
Hey, Charles.
You and me talking right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's just us talking private, so everybody else go get a beverage out of the refrigerator. You're the best on the radio and the best television on the Ravens is Touchdown Baltimore. Do you watch that?
No, you know what? You dropped out. Why don't you repeat what you just said?
I said the best television coverage on the Ravens commentary is Touchdown Baltimore.
You mean the Tom Davis show? The one Tom Davis has? Yeah, I see it sometimes.
Yeah, is Is there any contractual reason why you couldn't take Mark Viviana's place?
Well, why would I want to? Look, Tom and I are friends. If Tom wants to have me on the show, all he's got to do is call, and I'll be on the show, you know?
Yeah, you guys are so good. All four of you would be great together.
Well, yeah.
I hope you do it.
I'd show up if he called me. You know, I would. It'd be fun.
All right.
All right?
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, Charles. Thank you. Kevin in Randallstown, what's going on?
You weren't expecting that one, huh?
No. Tom, if you're listening, you know, I'm not begging you, but if you want me, call me, you know?
Well, you know, before I get into what I was going to talk about, I agree about Palmeiro. I don't know how he's not in at least the Oriole Hall of Fame. If he's not even in a. You know what,
Kevin? While we were talking about it, you know, we have this YouTube page now because and it's quite successful. Somebody commented on the YouTube page that Raffy never got suspended for using banned substances like Chris Davis did. Yet Davis is in the Oriole Hall of Fame. That right there should tell you that Raffy deserves to be in there.
Man, that guy could hit on a rope. He didn't hit those moon blasts too much, but he hit it. He just had a line drive home.
Most beautiful swing I've ever seen. Seriously, the most beautiful swing I've ever. And he's the most effective free agent the Orioles ever signed.
Yeah, it was a tremendous hitter.
Yep.
But you know, I wanted to ask you a question, Bruce, because I really don't know the answer to this, and I'm not a real big horse racing fan or anything like that, but don't understand this thing about
I'm glad you
wanting to get rid of the Preakness.
I'm glad you brought that up. See, I don't have a guest for this hour, and I was going to spend this segment right here talking about that, but we got all these calls stacked up, and I'm going to get to that probably next segment if I can get through these calls, because I've got some strong opinions on it, and there's some things that I don't think people notice here that they should be noticing, you know?
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense why they can't just do. You know, I think you were the one who said it. You know, just space them out. I know there's a guy also on PTL that comes on TV.
Yeah,
Tony Kornheiser that says, you know, if you just had one in June, one in July, and one in August, just space them out each one a month, you could solve the problem that way. But,
you could.
And then they were saying that you know, they don't have a group of people that are in charge of things like the four major sports have, you know, that can make decisions. And, you know, because it doesn't make sense how you can just get rid of the Preakness. You know how much money that would make
they're not getting rid of it. The Preakness is still going to be around. They moved the date now and all this, but it's still going to be there. But it's this new thing that Churchill Downs is promoting with Belmont, this new race series. And I don't want to steal too much of my own thunder because I'm going to talk about it next segment. Okay. But the key to this whole thing was Maryland getting out of the deal to sell the Preakness to Churchill Downs.
Right.
And then Wes Morris said, nah, we don't want to sell it. And Churchill Downs basically said, well, fine, screw you guys. That's what's happening here. And it's happening in real time right in front of our faces.
Yeah, well, I'll let you talk about it. I won't.
Yeah, next segment, I promise. We'll get into it real deep. Yeah. You'll like it, I promise. Okay. All right. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. 410-583-1057. Sean in Rosedale, what's going on?
I need a quick minute to make my point.
Okay.
The biggest difference between the lineup in 2023 and the lineup in 2026 is that the lineup in 2023 played for the people on the front of the jersey and not the people in the back. And what I mean by that is we are still taking huge hacks on third strikes. We are not hitting behind runners. We are not doing all the little things that if you go back and you look, because they were playing it more as a team back then, they were sacrificing their at-bats. They were doing the little things and playing real baseball. The gunner thing, I think, is permeating through the locker room into the lineup. What I mean by that also is there's no reason for him to be hitting in the top three. Statistically speaking, there is no reason for him to be hitting in the top three.
I agree.
He has a 6 or 7 back. And everybody really wants to say, oh, no, he's better than that. If you take his numbers and you put them up against Mayo's numbers, Mayo dwarfs them.
Yeah.
And everybody says how Mayo can't hit. So if you want it from a coach's perspective, that is it in a nutshell. In my opinion, I would move on from gunner because I think it would be addition by subtraction with the haul that you're going to get because you're not going to fix this in a year or two.
I agree.
That's my opinion.
And thank you for the call. I appreciate that thought. I agree. You know, it's like I told Rich Dubroff. I would have said you were crazy before last Monday. If they're willing to move Adley, they're willing to move everybody. This is clearly a sinking ship. And I hate to say this because I love it when they win, but anybody can see this. They really can. Joe in Woodbury, what's going on?
What's up, my brother Bruce?
How you doing?
No, man, just sitting back listening to the intelligent callers, man, the one that just got off and the one before that. All I wanted to call to talk about, hey, don't be talking about my sweetie about that, talking about she don't know them. If anything, she know how to play those songs. That last one, Tammy and Marvin. Anyway.
Yeah.
But, hey, man, I try to tell people, I'm going to get to this point. The backbone of any sports franchise is defense. I've lost track of how many games the Orioles lost because of their defense.
At least half of their losses. At least half of them.
Okay. And then the multitude of half would put them over 500, Bruce.
Yeah. And on top of that, they're wasting these great pitching performances like last night. If I was Shane Boz, I'd walk in that clubhouse wanting to fight people by this point, you know?
Oh, man, I'd be calling everybody
talking
out.
About their mothers and everything. You know, I'd be pissed.
And what the guy just said about their playing as a team, sacrificing, they don't play baseball, Bruce. They don't play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And
I asked this question last segment. You might have been on hold when I asked it. Did you notice that the defense didn't get lousy until this season? You know, did you notice that when the previous manager was in place, their defense was pretty good?
And I know that. I heard when you said when Brandon Hyde was there. And also, I just heard the previous caller say something about the Gunner situation.
Yep.
Now, believe me, what's that word with the big capital A? Does animosity begin with an A? Anyway, I'm just saying. Why is Gunner at the top of the lineup? It should be 7 or below.
I agree.
See, we are human. We have emotions, and I know how dugout may be. It's some cussing, there's some animosity. There's a lot going on. It's almost like he's the favorite child when he's not the favorite. He's not the best player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm running hot like Bob Haynie, Bruce. I got to get off, man.
All right,
I'm running
man.
hot. I might say something wrong.
All right,
anyway,
Joe.
have a blessed and wonderful day, Bruce.
You too. You too. You got to watch out for them Woodbury boys. They get a little crazy here. Let's see. I got time for one more before we go to break. Bill in Annapolis, what's going on?
Hey, Bruce. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Listen, first-time caller, long-time listener.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Also want to throw in there, you know, again, like the other guy said, the music is great. And I really enjoyed chatting with you for a few minutes at the Colts reunion thing.
Oh, okay.
Last year. That was fun.
That was fun.
The thing I just wanted to bring up, and I guess my timing is bad because the last few callers have been baseball, but it's been something that's been on my mind for a little bit, is Ravens' receiving situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go right to, I was always a DeAndre Hopkins fan, even when he wasn't playing for us. I mean, the man could catch almost everything thrown to him.
Sure.
It's my opinion, and you can surely you have more information than I do. It doesn't seem like when we bring in a veteran receiver that we use him.
You're right. They got a long history of that, and it's weird. And here's another thing about Hopkins. You see nobody signed him. He's coaching at Georgia Tech this fall. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That makes me wonder, too. But you're right about bringing in the big-name receivers. I have a theory, okay? Lamar is at his best when he does what? When he scrambles, gets out of the pocket, looks downfield, creates things on the fly, right? In those situations, he looks for Zay, and he looks for his tight end. And I think that's what's happened with these veteran receivers they bring in. They're not used to that type of passing attack.
Oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm right, but that's my theory.
Yeah, I mean, I can absolutely see that. My concern then would be, people that call in and say, or the team or coaches say, well, DeAndre didn't have the year we expected, or so-and-so didn't have the year we expected. Well, they can't catch balls if their numbers.
You got to throw him the ball, right? I mean, that's pretty simple.
Throw him the ball. Yeah, and I just don't think they use. And when talked this before the training started about, maybe they'll bring in another veteran receiver, I said it doesn't really make any difference.
No,
because they're going to go Zay and they're going to go tight end, and his number won't be called.
Yeah.
And that just frustrates me.
Well, they like the rookie a lot too. He's been burning up camp. We're going to talk with him with Cordell about him next hour. But they like him a lot. He's 6'4",
Yeah, Yeah, the few things that I've seen, he looks great.
And Lamar loves to throw it high and let somebody jump to get it. That's one of his key things. And if this kid shows him he can do it, Lamar's going to trust him and throw him the ball all the time.
Yes. He'd be a great addition to, getting the ball in the end zone, I think. And my other concern with that about going to Zay and going to tight ends all the time is, Zay's a wonderful receiver, but he's small, and I worry about if and when he gets hurt.
Yeah, they send him across the middle a lot, too. They do, and he's been healthy so far, but I think you're going to have more depth in that receiving core than they've had in recent years. I've missed a break now by 2 minutes. Bill, I got to go, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Stick around, everybody. I'm going to talk to Mike in South Baltimore, and then we're going to get into this horse racing thing that Kevin mentioned because I got some strong opinions on that, so stick around.
The teams you grew up with
Ravens are world champions.
are the ones you still love today. 105.7 The Fan.
That's Elena's family group chat. It never stops. Someone's always sending a blessing
or starting a poll about the baby shower theme at midnight.
With Real Unlimited from Total Wireless, she's always in the loop, whether she wants to be or not. Switch to Total Wireless Total Starter Plan or higher and get a Samsung Galaxy A16 5G on us. Total Wireless, your own Real Unlimited. Offer ends 11/4/2026 or while supplies last. Devices, taxes, and fees may apply.
Hey, it's Ken Wyman. FanDuel's giving new customers up to $1,000 in bet resets. Here's how it works. Bet $5 daily and unlock $200 in bet resets every day. That's right. New customers can place a $5 bet each day and receive up to $200 in bet resets up to $1,000 total. And with baseball on every day, there's always another game, another matchup, and another chance to get in on the action. Whether you're betting money lines, player props, or same-game parlays, FanDuel has you covered. So place your daily $5 bet and unlock up to $1,000 in bet resets. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. FanDuel, your home for home runs. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 105.7 The Fan. 21 plus in present Maryland. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Minimum $5 wager required for 5 consecutive days. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bet reset tokens. Refund for token issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $200 per day. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblingapp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
We'll make them turn their head every place we go. So won't you please be my new baby? Say you'll be my darling. Be my baby now.
Oh, man.
I'll make you happy, baby.
Yes, sir.
Just wait and see.
I could play the whole thing. I could. That's in my top 5 favorite songs of all time. And I read something today that I'm really excited about. There is a biopic on her about to be made. And I've been saying for years that somebody needed to. Phil Spector would sue him to death, but he's dead now. And they're going to make it. And they've cast her. They've cast the actress in the role. So I can't wait. They're saying maybe next year. If you don't know Ronnie Spector's story, it's harrowing. I mean, you really... It's a hell of a thing, and I'm really looking forward to that movie. 410-583-1057. Mike in South Baltimore, what's going on?
Hey, Bruce, how you doing, guys?
Good.
How you doing, bud?
I'm all right.
Yeah. Quick, Raffy, story here, real quick.
Yeah.
And I, go into my black call. When I was in the Army in KC, probably like 2000, 2001, he was with the Rangers, and I told him how I missed him, having him in the black and orange. Well, he signed a game ball for me, and that ball is in a shoebox, buried in a box somewhere that'll never see the light of day.
Yeah, keep it out of the daylight.
I can't be. Yeah, I can't be mad at guys like Bonds and everything, and it broke my heart when he was kind of tied up in all that. But
hey, you know what? Baseball
purist,
baseball needs to address that. They really do. You've got a group of superstars here who are never going to even sniff the Hall of Fame, and what are you going to do about that? You know?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like,
I mean,
I'm
look,
okay with them
McGuire.
putting it in a separate section.
Yeah, McGuire, Barry Bonds, you could throw Raffy in there, Like I told that previous caller, he's only the fourth guy to get to 500 home runs and 3,000 hits. You know who the first three were? Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Eddie Murray. That's the kind of company that he's in, And do you just ignore that?
No, it is elite. Yeah.
It is. And baseball needs to address it. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. But yeah, so I don't know if it's so much of a hot take, but like current Orioles, all the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I really think these guys don't care. Like guys like Gunnar, Elias, and this whole team that he's built. We're never going to go anywhere. In 2003, when we were, the hottest team in baseball, he went out and brought in guys like Fuji and everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't make the moves when it's needed, and all these guys are holding a place that they can get up as much value as they can, and he's going to trade them for more prospects.
And at some point, how long can the fan base wait? Rich Dubroff has said all along he doesn't think this fan base is going to sit still for another rebuild. Well, you know what? It may be upon us now.
Yeah, I'm ready to bolt. I was 7 years old. My dad woke me up for the final couple outs of the World Series and said, don't worry, you'll see another one in your life. Well, until he passed away in 2018.
Hey,
I
Mike.
would call him every October, like, when am I getting it, Dad?
Yeah. Mike, I'm 68 years old. I'm about to give up hope. I think I'm running out of time. Hey, Mike, I got to run, man. I'm glad you called. All right. I'm going to get back to the phones in a little while. Rashawn and Gary are there, and you guys stay right where you are. But I want to talk to you first about horse racing and specifically the Preakness. The trade deadline, all the stuff the Orioles did Monday absolutely drowned this story out. But right now, the Preakness and Pimlico are in a harrowing spot. Let me go over this with you. If you missed it yesterday, they announced that they're moving the day of the Preakness. It's now going to be run on the fourth Sunday of May. And they got Fox Sports to sign up to televise it. So the Preakness isn't going anywhere. It's still going to be there. But it's being treated now sort of like a stepchild. The new schedule means that the races are going to be on Memorial Day weekend, usually. And that's a busy weekend around here. But, the bottom line is, Churchill Downs wanted to buy the Preakness. They wanted to buy, or own it. And the state didn't think that was that good an idea. So they pulled out of the deal. At that point, Churchill Downs just kind of said, all right, screw you guys. You don't want to be part of this, then don't. And then we hear later in the week that the Derby and the Belmont Stakes, Churchill Downs and Belmont, they are going to put together a new $5 million 6-race Thoroughbred Champion Series, which basically stretches the 3-year-old year past May and, up into September. 3 of the races in that series are going to be run at Churchill Downs, just saying. But the fact that the Preakness is not included in this 6-race Thoroughbred Championship, it tells me that Churchill Downs is telling us all to, go jump in the lake. It's been around a long time. And here's the other thing that's really bothering me about this. They're about to open a new track. The new Pimlico will open. And now all of a sudden you're pulling games like this? How in the world can you put together a 6-race championship series and not include the second jewel of the Triple Crown in it? The Belmont's in it. The Kentucky Derby's in it. But, the Preakness isn't in it. Come on. Do better. The race has been run since, 1870? You got a horse racing savvy market here. People that like the sport. They don't go all the time, but they like it, and they're there on Preakness Day. But we're being roundly disrespected here and disregarded. And I can't help but think it's spite from the folks at Churchill Downs. All right, you don't want to cooperate with us, we'll get out of the way. That's kind of the way it's doing. I don't know how you fight this. As Kevin in Randallstown pointed out, there's no commissioner. There's nobody to tell everybody what to do. You know, you already got Derby winners skipping the Preakness because it's too close to the Derby. So that's a bad sign. And now you're being left out of this championship series. Folks, are they trying to elbow us out of this whole thing? Is that what's going on here? The reason I wanted to spend time talking about this today is because, as I said, on Monday, it was a trade deadline and the Orioles traded a big name. And that sucked all the air out of the room. That's all anybody wanted to talk about. Well, this is absolutely huge. And it's being done right in front of us in real time. I don't know what recourse the state has. The one thing that we do have going for us is that Fox just signed a multi-year deal to televise the Preakness. Fox is also involved with this new Thoroughbred Championship Series. So I don't know if they're going to have influence to bring. I don't know. This sounds like it's a Churchill Downs deal all along, and they're kind of letting their little brother Belmont involved. It just seems arrogant to me. And it seems almost like bullying, you know? Here, we try to do something for you, and if you don't want to do it, well, then fine, get out of the way. So that's where it is. That's where it is. And it's frustrating to me. I mean, what else can you say in defense of the Preakness? You know, it's been around a long time. People love it. And you're just leaving them out of this shiny new thing that's going to, quote, save the sport. I don't know. And don't think that people here in Baltimore are going to just be quiet about this. Because, you know, we're not that way here. You know, we got that giant chip on our shoulder. Well, understand what's going on right in front of you. They're trying to turn the Preakness into some kind of minor event. The Preakness was smart to sign the deal with Fox. That's the one thing it's got going for it. But as far as Churchill Downs is concerned, this is war. And we're leaving you out of our new thing. And what are you going to do about that? Tough S, right? Think about all this that I just said to you. Even if you're not a big horse racing fan, just understand the basic stuff, what's going on here. It should make you pretty angry. I know it made me angry just thinking about it. All right, coming down off the soapbox, want to remind you, Cordell Woodland going to join us at 2:30. We're going to get the update on the Ravens workout today, so I'm looking forward to that. I got a bunch of calls on the line ready to talk. Stick around, hour number 3, straight ahead.
What happens next happens here. Baltimore Sports Radio.
That ball is out of here.
105.7 The Fan.
Play more, win big, all summer long during Horseshoe Casino's 12th anniversary celebration. Enjoy 12 times rewards on Friday, August 21st, then join them on Saturday, August 22nd for your chance to win a $1,200 cash prize in their special anniversary drawing. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, zip your lips and pay attention. Old Glory and Patriot Harley has secured 0% APR financing on all new Harley-Davidsons this week. That's right, 0% APR and financing terms that can save you thousands on interest. There's hundreds of new and used Harleys in stock at Old Glory and Patriot Harley, ready for immediate delivery with finance experts on site to get you approved. 0% APR on all new Harleys this week. I said pay attention. Buy a Harley and pay 0 interest. Old Glory and Patriot Harley-Davidson is the largest Harley dealer group in the DMV. It's the best time to buy at Old Glory and Patriot Harley. On approved above average credit and Sunday.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
In today's fast-moving job market, staying ahead means keeping your skills sharp. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we help keep your capabilities cutting edge with our skills-based education programs designed to move your career forward. Explore more than 100 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, and more. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins AeroBurst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of AeroBurst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Wednesdays are for unwinding and for wine. At P.F. Chang's, your midweek reset just got better because every Wednesday, bottles of wine are half off. So text the group chat, make a plan, and turn an ordinary night into something worth savoring. Great wine, great company, half the price. Wine Wednesday, only at P.F. Chang's. Available to guests 21 and over. Dine in only all day Wednesday. Please drink responsibly.
This is WJZ-FM, Catonsville, Baltimore's sports talk at 105.7 The Fan, and always live on the free Odyssey app. The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Buddy Miles to start out hour number 3. Do a lot worse than that. Hey, listen, that rant just now about Pimlico and Churchill Downs and all that, I made a key mistake in that, and it was inadvertent, so I'm going to come clean. They didn't sign with Fox. They signed with NBC. I don't know why I said Fox. I guess it's because I worked there for so long, but the new TV rights deals with NBC. It's going to run through 2032. And NBC's different platforms are also going to show the Black Eyed Susan, the Federico Tessio Stakes, and the Maryland Million Day. So that's a real good deal for Pimlico. So it's NBC and not Fox. I'm glad I was able to correct that. 410-583-1057. Orioles in action again tonight against the Rangers behind Kyle Bradish. And they just hope something good happens. You know, I frankly, I've been on here 2 hours. I'm getting sick of talking about him. You know, I really am. So let me talk to you guys instead. Rashawn in Baltimore, what's going on?
What's up, Bruce? What's going on, man?
You know, same old thing.
Man, oh, man. Real quick, I'm going to rewind before I get to last night's game.
All right.
Last weekend, man, the Philly series.
Yeah.
Do you know that was the second most largest crowd we had at Camden Yards since opening day?
Is that right?
Yes. That's the most fun I had all year, man. Philly, you guys should salute them and shout out to them, man. Their fans, they bring the energy, man.
Oh, yeah.
That was intense down there. I just love the Philly. You know, I know they get a little bad rep about their fans, but they kind of like.
I love Philly fans. I love them.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing pretentious there. They're going to tell you what they think, but you know, and it's right up the street. So I can see why so many of them come down.
Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they packed it, Bruce. And I'm thinking, like, they must be in first place, but they're not even, like, in first place. That team is, like, barely hanging on. Like,
I know.
They're passionate, Bruce. I'm telling you, man. We had the time of our life down there, man. Like Dustin drawn off at the Philly fans, man. It was just intense, man. We had a ball.
You know what I always say? If you want to make a Philly fan mad, don't say something bad about their team. Say something nice about their team.
Yeah, exactly, Bruce. But, Bruce, man, last night, you know, for us to even be in that game, because, like, I was like, man, these first 2 games of the series, facing these pitchers with facing, man, it's going to be tough. And just to turn that game on, and it was 1-0, I was just like, I just felt it, like something's going to happen. Something's bad going to happen, man. But for that game to end the way it ended, first of all, I don't think the third base guy coach should have sent that guy home, man. Like, what do you think? You think he should have held him?
You could probably second guess that. Yeah, he probably should have held him. But then again, you know, you're down a runner and it's the 9th inning. You know, you're going to try and tie the game if you can. But the problem I have was the call. You know, you got you got a replay system set up to catch things like that. And how in the world can those people in the replay thing in New York look at that and not overrule it? I couldn't believe that.
Like, I couldn't believe that, Bruce. I was like, this is over. You know, man, it just sucks, man, to get robbed of a you know, not saying we're still going to win because that was just going to tie the game up. But, you know, anything could have happened, man. Like,
yeah.
And just Shane, I feel sorry for Shane Byers because he's just been, you know,
I said earlier, if I was him, I'd go in that clubhouse and I'd throw some hands. You know?
Yes. He pitched a hell of a game. That was his best pitch game probably this year. What do you think?
Yeah, it definitely was his best pitch game, and he's been doing it every start. But they just won't score runs for him. You know, they just won't
score runs for him, man. Like, we got to find some offense. I know we're missing a lot of people with the injuries and everything with Basayo, man. But, man, we had one run last night. And
they're averaging, last 5 games are averaging less than 2 runs a game.
That's pathetic, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean,
especially when you're getting pitching performances just about every night that keep you in the game.
The pitching isn't the problem. That's crazy. Like, it's just, man, like, I just really wish I want them to get that wild card spot, man. But let's be honest.
They're not a playoff team.
No. This is not a playoff team at all.
Let me tell you the hardest thing, Rashawn, since I know you a little bit, the hardest thing about talking about this team on this radio station is I want to cuss.
Yes.
And we're not allowed to cuss. Yes. I want to say and all kinds of stuff, and I can't.
Oh, my God. The words I said last night, Bruce, after that game, oh, my goodness. Man, I couldn't believe it. I was like, man. But hopefully, you know, keep our fingers crossed that Bradish have a good out in the day.
Yeah, and we'll be watching again tonight because that's what we do, because we're dumb.
That's what we do, man. Yeah. Just hopefully, man. This is a tough road trip, but a very important road trip with these 10 games we got. So I was thinking, man, we got to go at least 6-4. You know, but we already lost the game. So I mean,
I don't know how they're going to win 4 if they can't score runs. You know?
Yeah, nobody. Like, damn, like that's why I'm not a big Fire Elias guy because it's not his fault that people hurt, can't stay healthy,
right.
And then I don't think Craig Albanese is the guy, honestly.
I'm starting to feel the same way. I mean, listen, I've said this 3 times during this show. During that call at the plate last night, he should have gotten his ass thrown out. He should have gone out there and had himself thrown out.
Hell yeah.
You know what a difference that would have made in that clubhouse?
Yes. Nah, you're right. So, I don't know how long he's going to stick around, but I guess you can't fire Albanese because people are going to be like, Elias you're just putting the blame, you know, just pass the blame on everybody else.
You know what? If they do fire Albanese, it would be part of a combined firing with Elias.
I think so too. Definitely.
They're not gonna sacrifice another manager at the altar of Elias. I don't see him doing that.
I don't see him doing it either, man. But it just sucks though, man. I hope Elias can stay around to see if his Ellie Rutschman trade paid off, though. You know, because we're not going to know about that until the 2 more seasons, right? So them guys come up and
at least 28 or 29. You know.
Yeah, man.
I know, it's depressing. It's depressing.
It is. Because I love the Orioles, Bruce. I really
I know
that's
you
my
do.
number 1 love.
And
man.
you spend money too. You travel with them, and they're just.
Yeah, I got a trip planned next week going down to St. Pete. You know, one of my favorite, destinations down there. You know
who's down there? Brent Harris.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Brent and Kristen moved down there. You got to watch. My son lives down there, too. We ought to set up a little party for you or something. I don't know.
Definitely, man. You know, don't holler at me. I'll be down there, I'll be down there holler at my guys, Mullins and Tyler Wells and Baker,
Yeah, man. That's just depressing. All right, Rashawn, thanks for the call.
Bruce.
I appreciate it.
Right.
I was feeling good until, no, I wasn't. Let's go to Gary in Reisterstown. Gary, what's going on?
Hey, Bruce. How you doing today?
I'm not so good. How about you?
I'm doing okay. I was going to correct you on the NBC thing, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, I'm glad. I felt so bad about that, but you can understand why I'd make that mistake. I said Fox for like 31 years,
Well, yeah, it's definitely understandable. Hey, I have a question. You heard anything about the rumblings between Comcast and the NFL Network? With the season about to break and no red zone.
Well, I know. I haven't heard anything, and it's complicated because you probably know this, but ESPN bought the NFL Network.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't know what ESPN's plans are for the red zone. I think they'd be stupid to discontinue it.
That's got to be one of their biggest money makers, the NFL Network.
Well, I don't know how much money they make off it because, it's real hard to get commercials in because it's continuous, but it's very popular and it serves a purpose. It really does, especially like if you live in a town that doesn't have an NFL team, there's nothing better than red zone. You could catch the whole league, right in front of you.
And it's all good for fantasy football, which is
definitely
huge.
And that's another thing that's driving it too. But no, to give you a short answer, no, I haven't heard anything. I hope it all works out.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
It's getting down to the wire now. So.
It sure is. All right, man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. That's another thing. Disney, ESPN, when they bought the NFL Network, let's review. They own ABC. They own all the ESPNs, and now they own NFL Network. Good thing, bad thing, I don't know, but I don't like it. I don't. That's a lot of power in the hands of one entity. And I don't know that I trust them to do the right thing. Seriously. Red Zone grew organically. It was something everybody loved. And like the caller just said, the fantasy people, the bettors, they all love Red Zone. And I don't know what ESPN's plans are. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll look into that this coming week, and we'll talk about it next Saturday. In the meantime, let's go to Roberto. Mike, what's going on, man?
Hey, Bruce, how you doing, man?
I'm all right.
Yeah, I was cringing every time I heard you say Fox bought the
yeah, I know.
NBC. But let me just talk about the horse race for a second, because that's my big passion too. Okay, we got two evil empires in horse race. We have CDI, the Churchill Downs Incorporated, which don't care about nothing but the Derby. Okay, that's why they sucker punch the Preakness like that. Because first of all, they tried to buy the Maryland tracks when after the Maryland tracks were being taken over. Yeah. They tried to buy it and they failed. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then they bought the rights. Yeah, people have been making clowns of Westmore and everything, but see, he had to buy those rights back because Churchill Downs could have took the Preakness and ran it at Colonial Downs or wherever the hell
exactly.
he wanted to run it.
You're right.
So yeah. So
but you know what? It's convenient to blame the governor. It's convenient to blame politicians on it. They, I don't agree with that.
Right.
And I hate to get political on the show, so I'm not going to. But I have no problem with the state making the move they made to hang on to the Preakness.
Exactly. Because like I said, Churchill Downs is an evil empire along with the Stronach Group.
Oh, don't get me started on those bastards.
Racing.
Oh, I know.
They own Santa Anita. They would sell the grounds of Santa Anita if they could. Same thing, they own Gulfstream Park. They have the casino there, so they have to run the track to keep the casino.
Right.
They sell the grounds of Stronach Group is evil. So I'm glad that, NBC stepped forward and I hope you still have the Triple Crown. But as far as the Triple Crown, Churchill Downs Incorporated doesn't care about the Triple Crown. All they care about is the Derby.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, I am in favor of them moving the race back the way they did, because it's going to build another weekend there, and those trainers can't use that as an excuse anymore.
Yeah, because Bruce, look, it's been the Triple Crown has been going on for 150 years.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now, there's two little space in between. Okay, so all they had to do was. The simple solution was to run it. The Derby's run 2 weeks after the Preakness. The Preakness run 2 weeks after the Derby. They could have just made an extra week, run the Preakness 3 weeks.
Look, do it this way. Look, May is for the Derby. June is for the Preakness. July is for the Belmont. Why is that so hard? It
was simple, but like I said, Churchill Downs is the evil empire. That's
I agree.
All they care about is the Derby, man. All right, Bruce,
all right, Mike. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. 410-583-1057 is the number. Cordell Woodline is going to join us at 2:30. He's been out at training camp all day. He's listening to the press conferences right now. He's going to have plenty to share with you. So look forward to that coming up in about 19 minutes or so. In the meantime, let's go to Chase in Mount Washington. Chase, what's up?
Hey, guy, I haven't talked to you in a while. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing good.
Well, I'm going to make a comment. I fault the governor, and I'm going to tell you why. The governor seems to follow the mayor's non-diplomatic response to things he don't like. And what he should have done was to acknowledge, hey, we would really love to hold on to the Preakness. But he was more insultive, as opposed to just trying to say that we're going to work things out. It's all about attitude. It's similar to the attitude when you're dealing with our president. If you deal with him and acknowledge his position rather than trying to be confrontational, you'll get a better result. I fault the governor, because if he'd been more diplomatic, possibly things would have went better. That's my point.
Okay, all right.
But I think that the new coach of the Ravens is going to be fantastic. Fantastic.
I can't wait. I'm ready, man. Chase, I appreciate the call, too. All right. Phones are wide open for the first time today. First time today. You want to jump on, it's a good time. 410-583-1057. Again, 410-583-1057. Cordell joining us at 2:30. Stick around.
Wherever the Orioles season takes you.
Say goodbye to this ball.
Download the free Odyssey app and hear reactions to all the biggest moments. Download it today and search 1057 The Fan.
Ever notice how the little things add up? A cracked phone screen, a dead car battery, bills creeping higher.
Oh, no.
What if your checking account could actually help with all that? It can. With Elite Checking from NASA Federal, you get smart benefits designed to save you time, money, and stress. Like get your paycheck up to 2 days early for a little breathing room. Cell phone protection to cover unexpected damage, roadside assistance for breakdowns, bill negotiation to help lower your bills, identity theft aid for peace of mind, and you can earn dividends on your balance. If your checking account isn't working hard for you, switch to Elite Checking from NASA Federal. You can do it all right online at nasafcu.com/WJZ. And you don't have to work for NASA to join NASA Federal. NASA Federal Credit Union. Smart. NASA smart. Federally insured by NCUA.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it happen.
With Experience Beyond, switch and get $100 back. Plus, $650 in value in built-in plan benefits. That's $750 in your first year, guaranteed.
And honestly, that $100 back, I'm putting it towards the zip line.
Now that's how you do summer.
Exactly. Best switch I ever made.
This is just one reason to join T-Mobile this summer. There are 250 reasons. Find yours.
Savings based on the value of benefits included with Experience Beyond, like entertainment and 1 year of AAA Classic and Dash Pass on us. Benefits may require activation. See plan for details. Get $100 via virtual prepaid MasterCard with eligible port and no cash access and expires in 6 months. Issued by Sunrise Banks and a member FDIC. Allow 8 weeks.
This is the story of the one. The one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity, imagine that.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Welcome back, Bruce Cunningham Show on what has become a sunny Saturday in Baltimore. The weather here is just crazy. Aaron left, and Brian's in here now, but before Aaron left, we were talking about that today, and this is how weird the weather is here. You ever notice that we don't have a spring and we don't have a fall? We just have summer and winter.
It's a real weather is here, wish you were beautiful scenario.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I had a meteorologist at Fox explain it to me a couple of years ago. The reason our weather is so weird is we got the mountains to the west and we got the bay to the east, and both of those things are meteorological walls, okay? The air just kind of sits there and weird things happen. But, you know, we went most of this summer in a drought, you know, and now it just won't stop raining. You know, but it's weird rain. It rains real hard for a little while, and then it goes away. And I'm looking out the window now, and the sun's back out. I don't know. I don't do weather. If I'd had to do weather, I'd have gotten out of the business a long time ago, even though it's the best gig there is. Back on subject. Orioles tonight against the Rangers. Bradish is going. Hope for the best. You know, cross your fingers. You use the last button a lot on your remote. That'll get you through it, okay? 1-583-1057. Chef in Owings Mills, what's going on, man? Chef, are you there?
Bruce, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey, what's going on, Bruce? How you doing
I'm
today,
doing
man?
all right. I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm actually thinking about you and Femi today. I'm actually getting ready to brine some pork steaks. First time I ever did it. So I'm going to do it like how I smoke some ribs. So
you're going to like that. I love smoking pork steaks. That you're going to love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Try something different.
As I told you, I admit it. I have a barbecue problem. Okay, I'm a barbecue-aholic.
Hey, I love it, Daddy. You guys inspire me. So,
and now Femi's been promoted, so he's a big shot. What's that?
I'm gonna have to text him. Maybe we could. I'm gonna have to text him so we can maybe do that on another Saturday. He can just drive up or whatever.
We can figure. Hey, for your ribs, we'll do that. Whatever you want us to do, we'll do.
All right, sounds like a plan. But hey, Bruce, I was calling you to talk about some ratings. But first, while it's on my mind, since you're a soul person, check out the Womack sisters.
Oh, I've heard them. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. I thought about you when I heard about them. But yeah, I just wanted to switch up. I didn't want to beat a dead horse about the O's, but just really excited about the Ravens coming up. It's just like that's that bright side I look forward to.
Hey, 1 week from tonight, their first preseason game. 1 week.
Hey, Bruce. Hey, we're going to tailgate, so I was going to make the best out of it.
Sounds good. All right, man.
But
Thanks.
I'm looking for Bruce, but you have a good one. Thank you, man.
Thanks,
have a good day.
I appreciate you too. Chef brought us some ribs there a couple of weeks ago, and man, I took those things home. It was beef rib, which a lot of people aren't that familiar with, but a good beef rib is like holding a steak in your hand. And I took a bite, and I was already sorry I was going to finish it. It was like that. Let's get back to the phones. LB and Dundalk, what's going on?
Hey, Bruce. I just got one thing first. The Intruders. I would love to hear them next week, maybe.
Cowboys to Girls. How about that one?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's it. Old time. Anyway, on the Ravens and receivers and Lamar, this started back with Hollywood Brown. And like you mentioned it, he's the favorite. To me, it seems like LeVar, he throws it like a dart. He doesn't really throw the ball, deep. And he seems to have a problem with that. Like you say, he gets favorite receivers. And the whole thing about him running out, that's the minute he returns. And I think other teams are getting ready for that.
Yeah,
so,
not every receiver can do that. Can run a route and then run another one the way Lamar kind of demands. He's lucky. He's lucky he's had Andrews over the years. Because he trusts him, and Andrews will catch the football. He trusts Zay too, but what he's got to do is he's got to expand that circle of trust a little bit. Two guys ain't going to get it done, right?
Yes, sir. All right, listen, I appreciate. I've been yelling at this every week. I yell at you through the radio. So this time I get to yell at you.
Well, don't be a stranger, man.
I'll try again next week, Bruce.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, LB. Thanks. I appreciate the call. I can just picture that hollering at the radio. Let's go to Kevin in Pasadena. Kevin, what's on your mind?
Hey, Bruce. Good show, as always.
Thank you.
Hey, I have a theory. I'm going to see what you think of this.
All right.
I know when Rutschman came up and when Henderson came up, everybody said these guys, they're Hall of Fame. They're going to be the greatest things ever.
Right.
They were 22 years old, and I think they went to a team that had no real – they weren't coming to a team that already had Brooks Robinson and Frankel in it. They were supposed to be the leaders, and they were kids. And I think it just, especially with Henderson, I think it heaped way too much responsibility on him. And I feel like he has let himself, the team, it's just too much. And it's crushing. I think it's crushing the whole team.
I agree. And I tell you what, this is a radical notion, but if I were the Orioles, I would give him a week's vacation. I'd say, hey, Gunner, take 7 days, fly to Hawaii, see if you can get yourself straight.
I'd say, hey, Gunner, it's not your fault. Play baseball. It's true for Calzer and Mayo. You listen to people talk and they go, oh, I'm not worried about Calzer. He'll come around.
No.
Oh, I'm not worried about Mayo. Oh, I'm not worried about Jackson. But
Kevin, I'd be happy if just one of them came around. All right? Yeah. We've been waiting for like 5 or 6 guys since April, right? Just one of them show me something. Just for a couple of days. We're not greedy, right?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think they came up and people went, you kids are the
You're right. And the other half of that is when they came up, the veterans were basically gone from the locker room. So your best players have got to kind of be the leaders, and that's not always the best way to go,
No, absolutely not. Jim Palmer comes up he's surrounded by guys that know the game inside and out. They didn't come up and say, Jim, it's on you.
Right. You know, he talks about all the time. His first roommate was Robin Roberts, who was almost 40 years old. And he said it was the best situation ever. But on Monday, I don't know if you saw this. It was on social media. Somebody asked Jim Palmer on Twitter, said, give us your real thoughts on the Adley trade. What do you got to lose? And he responded 2 words, my job.
Yeah.
I'll just be glad when this season's over. I'll be honest with you. I will. This is just too frustrating for me, you know?
No, I think everybody feels that way, but
if they were a bad team, this would be easier to take, but they're not a bad team. They got a lot of talent. It's just underachieving, and they're all underachieving at once, and it's all going wrong at the same time, and it's just disgusting. You know, I've had enough.
It's funny you say that because I said to my wife the other day, it was more fun to watch the Orioles when you knew they were going to lose 100 games.
You know, you could feel maybe, hey, there's something positive. I can feel good about that, but it's nothing but negativity right now. Nothing. And I'm sick of it. All right, enough of that, Kevin. I got to hit a break. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. 410-583-1057. Rick and Bob, you guys stay where you are. I'm going to get to you. Cordell Woodland joins us next to talk about today at Ravens training camp.
Big Bad Morning Show, Vinny and Haynie, and The Final Drive, live on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 6 till 6. Search 1057 The Fan, Baltimore, and never miss a moment of coverage on the teams you love.
This weekend only at Old Navy, get 50% off all activewear for the fam and 50% off all toddler and baby styles. Yep, 50% off all activewear plus 50% off all toddler and baby styles this Saturday and Sunday only.
It's Old Navy, baby.
Valid 8, 8, and 9. Excludes clearance, licensed maternity, third party, and Old Navy x Disney.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Baseball is back, and BetMGM, official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boost, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB Same Game Parlay Boost. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB Odds Boost Tokens and MLB Parlay Boost Tokens all season long. More boost, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Maryland only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please play responsibly. In partnership with MGM National Harbor.
If you dread dealing with your insurance company more than you dread build-it-yourself furniture that came in 47 different pieces.
Why do I have 6 extra screws?
With extremely vague instructions.
What are these? Hieroglyphics?
Then you might have Insuranoia. And if you have Insuranoia, then you should get NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Running a business shouldn't feel like a juggling act. One app for accounting, another for inventory, one more for sales, and somehow they never work together. Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated platform with all the business applications you need. CRM, inventory, accounting, marketing, and more. All working together seamlessly. Stop juggling software and get back to growing your business. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Cowboys, girls,
to play shoot 'em up, bang, bang, baby.
Oh, yeah. Caller last segment asked for some intruders. We're happy to play some intruders any old time, that's for sure. 410-583-1057. Joining us now is a guy way back in the day I used to look it through the glass at when he would run the board and produce this show. And he's succeeded, and he's climbed up through this organization. I couldn't be prouder of him. Cordell Woodland, thanks for joining me today, man.
For sure, Bruce. Appreciate you having me.
Hey, I've been here, since noon or 11:30, whatever. What happened today we should know about?
Well, yeah, today, you got the first real injury scare of camp with Zay Flowers going down.
Really?
He got hurt in 7-on-7 today. He and Jalen Hawkins, new safety from New England, they collided. They did come down with the pass, really good post route, but Lamar threw a tightrope in there in a very small window. They came down with it, but he paid the price, and he did limp a little. He limped quite a bit off the field, and trainers worked out that left leg, and then he had to limp his way into the building. But Jesse Minter told us after practices Zay is dealing with a quad contusion, and they're listing him as day-to-day right now. So Jesse did say he doesn't think it's anything overly serious. He doesn't think he'll be gone very long, but obviously they have time on their side right now. If something like this is going to happen, you'd rather it happen now, where you're, quite a few weeks away from the season, and you can kind of treat Zay with kid gloves. I would be surprised. I'm not expecting Zay to be out here practicing. Obviously, tomorrow they're off Monday. Maybe he's back Tuesday, but it wouldn't shock me if he's not.
Well, and it could benefit those two kid receivers they have, those two rookies. That's passes they're going to be seeing they might necessarily see, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I think this gives them an opportunity to find out about a lot of these guys in that receiver room. Outside of Zay, there are question marks about all of them.
Yeah.
You mentioned the rookies. With their question is the obvious one, inexperience. But Rashad Bateman's coming off a season where he had 19 catches.
Yeah.
So you just don't know what you're going to get out of him. You're hoping to get more. You have to get more than 19 catches out of him. But you don't know what Rashad Bateman you're going to get this year. Tez Walker, what does he have, 9 career catches to his name? So there are a lot of question marks behind Zay Flowers. So this does give them the opportunity to put these guys on Front Street, to give certain guys opportunities with the ones that maybe they weren't getting before, and maybe figure out what you have and who you can rely on if you do get into some of these worst-case scenario situations.
Bateman is confusing to me. It's kind of mysterious, he came in here really highly touted, and he's played well in spots, but there's not a whole lot of consistency with him,
That's the thing. I don't think there's any. You good luck finding anybody that will tell you that Rashad Bateman isn't one of the more talented receivers on this roster.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not the case. I see it every day. I know what Bateman is capable of, and I think that's kind of what frustrates me with Rashad is I know how good he can be. I know how good he looks out here in camp and in practice. But when you get to the games, you just don't know what Rashad Bateman you're going to get. And he's actually done pretty well health-wise the last couple of seasons because early in his career, that was the problem. He couldn't stay on the field because he was always hurt.
Right.
But the last couple of years, I think he played 13 games last year, still with only 19 catches. So he has to, without a doubt, he's got to step up. This team just drafted 2 receivers. So, and Jacoby Lane continues to turn heads with the plays that he's making so far. So, I think that they're hoping, and you said it, he's just been inconsistent. And when you talk about guys that last in the NFL, they play consistently. And I think that's what Bateman is chasing right now.
Right. The defense. Lamar smashed his helmet to the ground yesterday. The defense, we knew going in, the defense was going to be good. They've really improved themselves in the offseason, particularly at the safety position, and they're showing that thus far, aren't they?
Yeah, so far the defense definitely has been a group that's ahead, and that's expected. Lamar has talked about how the offense is schematically, at least, they are starting brand new. They stripped it all down. So, if you remember when Todd Monken came in, they kept elements of Greg Roman's offense, specifically a lot of the run stuff. But that's not the case with Declan Doyle. They stripped it all the way down. So the offense is really starting from level 1, whereas the defense, a lot of these guys always talk about the Ravens' defensive scheme is homegrown. And you've got guys like Jesse, guys like Mike McDonald that add their own wrinkles to it. So I think the defense, they're further along in their install phase, if they're even still in the install phase on that side of the ball, whereas the offense is they're still learning the principles of the offense. They're still learning the system. And also, the defense has a ton of talent. Like you said, they added to the safety room. Yeah. They added to their D-line. They've added pass rushers. So, the defense is expected to be really good. And for me, I would not be surprised if this is the year where the defense is the head of the snake for this Ravens team.
Well, here in Baltimore, that's a popular thought. That whole thing is built on defense out there. I was waiting for the hitting to start for them to put on pads because I need to know more about this offensive line. But one thing that we have seen in just a couple days here is that the number one draft pick is as advertised, isn't he?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I mean, Vega, He's a feisty one, man, and he plays that way. I always think back to the night that he was drafted, and we talked to him over Zoom, and he talked about how nobody's going to touch my quarterback, and he's out for blood, and that's what you want to hear. You want nastiness, you want toughness, you want the physicality from anybody playing in the trenches, especially one that's going to be protecting your franchise quarterback, and we know how much of a soft spot the offensive line was last year. Specifically the guards. The guards were just arguably some of the worst starting guards in the NFL. And look, to be honest, I still have questions about the offensive line. You have to go from being one of the worst to all of a sudden one of the best over the next year. It can happen, but there's not a lot of turnover. They did replace both guards, Awane in the first round. They bring back John Simpson, who's an upgrade over Voorhees, but
he's not a star, Cordell. When they signed him, I had this reaction. He's not a star, but he's serviceable, No
doubt. No doubt. And I think that's what they were looking for. They're just looking for people that can raise the floor of the offensive line. They're not going to be successful with the O-line being as bad as they were last year. So while I do have questions about the O-line, I think that they'll be better than they were last year. I'm just not sure how much.
Well, it would be hard for them to be worse. They almost got their quarterback killed, That's the thing when those quarterback ratings came out, or the player ratings, and Lamar was, 68th or something. I said, do these people not know he had 4 injuries below the waist last year and still played, Yeah,
I mean, it's the rankings, especially that one, because that one is a weird one because it's based off of what you did the year before. So, it kind of is what it is. Lamar was dealing with all the injuries, and, we all know the reasons as to why, but nationally, they don't care.
No.
They don't care. They need their talking points. They need their headlines. And that's fine. Lamar doesn't care. I mean, Lamar has had it on. He's been on both sides. He's been the guy that everybody kisses when he wins these MVPs, and then he's the guy that everybody points to when they lose in the playoffs or when he gets an injury or something. So I think the good thing about Lamar is he has learned to, A, not take the criticism so personally, but B, also not get, too full of himself when everybody is talking about how great he is. He knows how quickly that narrative can change.
Yeah, it's like Earl Weaver used to say, you're never as good or bad as you think, Yep. And there's a lot of wisdom in that. Hey, down in the southern parts of the region, I know that you were a D.C. guy growing up, and you were a Redskin fan. What do you think about Stephon Diggs coming back?
I love it. I was pushing for the Ravens to go after Diggs earlier this off season, but a lot of Ravens fans gave me grief for that. So you know what? Hey, my team ended up coming up and said, we'll take him, and I think they needed him. I mean, obviously Terry McLaurin is great. I love Terry. The proof is in the pudding with him, but they desperately needed another receiver alongside him. So you bring in Diggs, a guy that was the focal point of that Patriots offense last year. He knows how to work with young quarterbacks. He did it with Drake May last year. Now he's with Jaden. This is the best wide receiver tandem that Washington has had since Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson. And those two guys ended up getting 1,000 yards together in the same season with Kirk Cousins one year. So I fully expect Diggs and McLaurin to be one of the better wide receiver tandems in the NFL this year.
Well, I was talking to Aaron Wilson a couple of years ago about the Houston Texans. And at that time, they had just made their coaching change, and they had their young quarterback. And I mentioned to him the 2 hardest things to do in the NFL they've done. Well, in Washington, they found their quarterback and they found their coach. They're in a pretty good shape there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, Dan Quinn, he's got some fire on them right now. I mean, obviously last year was a disappointment, a lot of injuries.
Sure.
And the defense wasn't that great. And unfortunately, like, that's Dan Quinn's calling card. You know, he's a defensive guy. And so this offseason, they made a lot of investments monetarily on the defensive side of the ball. First-round pick in Sonny Styles. They go and sign Odafe Owe coming off of his monster year in L.A., they've added more. They added a linebacker from the Chiefs as well. Like they actually invested in the defense. So no doubt, I think everybody knows they have the quarterback. I think coach right now, this is a pivotal year for Dan Quinn to maybe not necessarily have to get back to the conference championship like they did in Jaden's rookie year, but you got to make the playoffs. And it's going to be tough to do because Washington's schedule is brutal this year.
I tell you, when you win, you don't necessarily look forward to the year after a good season because, man, they just put it on you. Cordell, one more time, tell me again about the injury today, about Zay Flowers.
Yeah, Zay got nicked up in a 7-on-7, was running a post route, and Lamar put a ball in a very tight window, and Zay was able to make the catch, but as he's making the catch, he ended up colliding with Jalen Hawkins. So Zay ended up limping off the field. He's getting worked on his left leg and eventually ends up limping into the building. But Jesse Minter did tell us that he has a quad contusion. That's what they're officially calling it, and they're listing him as day-to-day. So they don't think it's anything serious, but he's probably going to miss a couple of practices.
All right, man, I appreciate that. And when you say listed as day-to-day, it reminds me of the famous Keith Olbermann line. He's listed like the rest of us day-to-day.
Yep.
Hey, Cordell, I appreciate you taking some time out. It's also nice to have you back here on Saturdays.
Yeah, appreciate you, Bruce. Thanks.
All right, we'll talk to you again real soon. There he goes, Cordell Woodland, one of the most valuable players of this staff. He's versatile. He does it all around here. And it's been fun watching him grow. It really has. And I appreciate him taking some time out because it's hot out there. You know, I was telling somebody earlier when I was still working at Fox, you know, you'd go to training camp in the afternoon and you'd just, sweat. And I had to sit in those clothes until 11:35. And my wife would say, well, don't they have a shower at the station? I said, I've done way too much evil stuff to people around here to be naked in any room of this building. So I feel for him. Also, a shout out to my great friend Morgan Adsit. Morgan had her second baby, another boy. She's a double boy mom now, and she returned to work last week. Maternity leave's over, and guess what? Right back out there to steamy training camp. So, Morgan, if you're listening, keep gunning and give those boys a hug for me. All right, I got one more segment to go, and then we're out of here. I want to remind you one more time, no Mike Popovic show today. He's off today. He's doing the White Marlin Open there in Ocean City. He's the co-MC, and it's a really big deal to him. So I hope he's having a good time with that. He will be back Saturday. We'll have the regular 6-hour block for you coming then. All right, I got completely empty phone lines, and I got about 10 minutes to go. Why don't you fill one of them for me? 410-583-1057. Again, 410-583-1057.
If you're thinking about it,
every day,
we're talking about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
1057 The Fan.
Circulating Knowledge is sponsored by Vascular Surgery Associates.
Hello, I am Dr. Michael Osgood with Vascular Surgery Associates, or VSA. Do you have heavy, achy, painful legs? Do you notice swelling in your feet and legs throughout the day? Do you have unsightly or uncomfortable varicose veins? If you have any of these symptoms, you may be suffering from chronic venous insufficiency, and we at VSA can help. Visit us at vsaveins.com. That's vsaveins.com.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Hey, Albert, can you help us plan and budget for a bathroom renovation?
I certainly can. Let me review your finances.
Who are you talking to?
Albert, my AI financial assistant that I can access right in the app. It automates all things finance, moves money, pays bills, creates personalized alerts, finds savings, and so much more.
Your bathroom renovation financial plan is ready. I found cash you can put aside, and to cover the rest, Albert can get you up to $10,000 fast.
Can you find contractors nearby within our budget?
Here's a list of contractors. Would you like help requesting a $10,000 loan for your bathroom renovation?
Yes! Download the Albert app and use promo code FAST to access Genius. Plus, get up to $10,000 for whatever you need. Just download the Albert app right now and use promo code FAST to get up to $10,000. That's promo code FAST.
Liberty Mutual cstomises your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this late night ad to make you more alert, which could help your driving. And science tells us that pulsing beats faster, stimulating audio like traveling sound,
and voices on the higher, so-called brighter end of the audio spectrum like this can encourage focus.
Also, a familiar tune can help, so...
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-358-6868. That's 800-358-6868. Again, 800-358-6868.
The Bruce Cunningham Show on Sports Radio 105.7 The Fan.
Give me just a little more time, and our love will surely grow. Give me just a little more time, and our love will surely grow.
Welcome back, General Johnson and the chairman of the board. If you're into beach music at all, that might be one of the best known beach music songs there are. And I tell you, last week, one morning, I just went way down the beach music, the hole, and it was a glorious, glorious day. I grew up on that music, and I love that music, probably better than anything else. And the interesting thing, the reason it's called beach music, and stay with me. I want to try not to be boring with this, but the reason it's called beach music has nothing to do with the actual going to the beach. In the days of segregation, radio down south was segregated. You did not hear black artists on white stations. Myrtle Beach, you got to understand, draws from all over the South. That's the South's beach, okay? So people would come from all over the South, and they would hear these songs on the jukebox. And so they started, and not on the radio, but on the jukebox. And so they started to associate that type of music with the beach, and that's where the beach music term comes from. A lot of people don't know that, and it's kind of boring, but that's how it happened. But there's something about beach music. It's got that little drive. You do a dance called the shag to it, and it's got a little thing going on underneath, a little bit of rhythm, and it's all glorious. And they're still making it. That's the best part. We play a song in here called I Can't Think by the Band of Oz that came out, I think, 5 years ago. So they're still making that great music. All right, I've bored you enough. 410-583-1057. Orioles Rangers tonight, even though it's in Central Time, they don't have a weird starting time for it. It is 7:15 Eastern Time. Bradish, 7-10 record, 3.79 ERA, going up against Jacob deGrom, who got a boatload of money a couple of years ago. He comes in 7-7, 3.96. It looks like a decent pitching matchup. And the Orioles try to get back on the winning side because yesterday last night there was a whole lot of things wrong with that one, 410-583-1057. All you can do is hope they get it righted. But like I've been saying all day, I've kind of given up on them. I don't know what to say. They're not a playoff team. Maybe they'll get hot and prove me wrong. I don't know. But right now, no, I don't think so at all. So I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to see playoff games, but no. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Danny in East Baltimore. Danny, what's up?
First time caller, long time listener, man.
Great.
I've been listening to you since the inception of this station. You got me to listen to 105.7.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know what's weird? It's a coincidence. I helped start Fox 45's news too. So,
is that right?
I was part of the original crew there in 91. I was part of the original crew here in, 2008, I think it was, or 9. But yeah, it's kind of a cool thing to be able to say,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got a quick question for you, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but the Orioles, all of what we've seen, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, all of those guys played really, really well down on the farm. They get here and can't seem to figure it out. Do you think there's a possibility that maybe the analytics has become too much information? Because I remember when Elias and his crew first got there and how everybody was saying how much information they were getting, and they felt good about the information. Could it be an overload?
I think
so.
so.
These guys are now thinking too much when they step into up to that plate and aren't actually just going with what they normally feel.
I think you're onto something there. I think, and let me just tell a quick story. You remember Kyle Bowler, right?
Absolutely.
All right, his game was so flawed that when he got here, that Brian Billick and his offensive coordinator, I think it was Matt Cavanaugh, they said, well, we got to break this guy down. This guy's got ability, but he plays the game all wrong. So we got to break him down and build him back up, and that's what ruined him. Okay? And I think there's some of that going on with the Orioles, too. I think in Gunner's spot especially, it doesn't look like Gunner's relying on his natural ability anymore.
No, it does not. Everything looks robotic.
Yeah, and he looks worried. He looks like he's not at peace with himself, and you can't play baseball that way either. And
you
the
can't
third
do anything in life with that kind of thought process.
The third thing about Gunner that I would tell you is that I think he takes those bad at bats into the field with him way too much.
Too much emotion. I mean, I know all sports are emotional, but he appears to be way too emotional where, as you said, he's carrying it with him, and it stays with him throughout, and he can't shake it.
I agree.
Baseball is a day-to-day game. Got to let it go.
And I tell you something else. Before Monday, I would have thought they would never get rid of him or Adley, but now that they've gotten rid of Adley, it wouldn't shock me at all if they decided to trade Gunnar Henderson.
When they gave the young man the contract, Basayo, when they gave him that contract, I said he was gone.
Yep.
Then when they drafted the catcher last year, or I think it was 25, they drafted a catcher. I said his time here is limited.
Yeah, and let's be honest, he didn't play up to a first overall draft pick. He didn't.
No, sir, not at all.
And nobody.
I was okay with him in that first year when the team started winning, but after that, I don't think we've seen much of that anymore.
Well, I hope he enjoys Boston. Yeah, right. All right, Danny. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you. The weirdest part, I think, for most people was that they traded him within the division. The problem is nobody outside the division was willing to give him that haul. Now, that haul is all minor leaguers. So, you never know how they're going to work out. But, they did get a good return in that trade. I can't complain about that. And I'll tell you something else. If you got about a month left to go see the Bay Sox, you ought to get your butts down there because they got a whole bunch of those new guys on that roster, and you're going to want to see them. Let's get one more here before we get out of here. Let's go to Chris in Northeast Baltimore. Chris, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hey, past week I've been trying to, analyze this, the trade that they did, which you were just speaking about. Yeah. And I want to give Elias some slack because, and you can, let me know your take on this. I see like he pretty much got back, pitching for the farm, hopefully to come up next year or two. And right now we have good pitching up here, and I feel like what he's doing now is, let's pit these guys that we consider our hitters. Let's see what they can do. The Kalsers, the Kerstad, Mayo. And let's see what we can do because we've got the pitching. We just can't get any hits. We can't get any runs. So let's see what we got as far as hitters. And if not, in the offseason, let's get some people here that can add to Alonso and put some, points on the board, let alone just some hits and put some people on base. And on another thing, as far as the Red Sox trade, I look at it like they seen Adley more than those outside teams.
Sure, absolutely.
So they knew what they were trading for, and they knew what they had to give up. So I think it was a great move on both ends. And I would just like to, see what your take is as far as that hitting situation and how that might, transition until this offseason.
They're giving Mayo a long look. They're giving Beavers a long look. These guys are getting opportunities. The problem is they're coming up short. Rich Dubroff said this earlier when I had him on. This is his opinion that those trades they made last week. If you notice, they got a lot of pitchers in those deals. Remember?
Yeah.
All right. His theory is that in the offseason, they're going to use some of those young pitchers to trade for established offensive players.
That's not a bad idea. I think that's just what we're missing. I'm watching the game last night, and when we made that blooper, pitchers losing my Baez when he made that blooper to the first base, and I said, it's not looking good. And then next up, 2-run homer, and we were in position to try to tie it up, and then you had that unsuccessful run to the plate. But I look at it like we shouldn't even have been in that situation. We can't even get 2 runs.
That's crazy. Shane Baz will never pitch better in his entire career. He's going to talk about this season for the rest of his life. He's got to be the most unbelievable person in the world right now. Just unbelieving. He can't believe what's going on in front of him.
A complete game, and he lost.
Yeah.
So that says it all.
Well, the problem is, what do you pair? If you're not a good hitting team, if you can pitch and play defense, you're going to be pretty good. Well, guess what? There's the other problem. The defense has gone straight down the tubes.
Yeah, and then I just want to leave off, everybody that we're in that race for that last spot, he pretty much won last night. So now we're, 2 out, and I'm like, you got to take advantage at some point. And, I don't want to use the reference so hard, but that movie Major League, they need to put an end-of-the-year run like they did on Major League when they were rallying against the owners that wanted to give them all up. They need to just put that type of run together, and let's see what happens.
That's why I said last night, that play at the plate, Albert Nash should have gotten himself thrown out.
Yeah, the emotion.
That would have started a fire in that clubhouse, absolutely.
We talk about Gunner's emotion. I think they need to give a little bit to Alvarez, and we might be good to go.
I think so, too. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it, Chris. What a show today, I can't remember when I had a better time doing this show. It was an adjustment, when Femi got promoted to coming back and doing 3 hours by myself, and I wasn't sure I was all that crazy about the idea, but a show like today kind of rejuvenates me because you guys took such a big part in this. I love two-way sports talk. And the experts will tell you in the genre, don't take that many calls and don't do this and don't do that. Well, you know what? I just try to do what feels right to me. And if I'm doing a talk show about sports, and it's going to be local sports for the most part, and I don't include you, that's crazy to me. So yeah, as many calls as we can get. If I could get 100 calls in 3 hours, I'd be happy with that. All right, so a reminder, no Mike Popovic show today. He is off. He's doing the White Marlin Open. We will both be back in place next Saturday. That 6-hour Saturday sports block that you've gotten so used to. He'll be back for that. I want to thank Cordell Woodland for taking time out of his day to join me, and also Rich Dubroff, BaltimoreBaseball.com. You got guys like that, makes this job a lot easier, that's for sure. All right, I will talk to you again next week. And as I always say, Baltimore, I love you madly, and ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm Bruce. See you next Saturday at noon. Till then, see ya.